What's up, all you awesome gamers? I'm GKB, the Governor. I'm MLG Pro status right now. Got my Astros and my Gunner optics on. Just having a good time on the show right now. Welcome. I am your host of the sexiest and best damn podcast Tuesday nights, The Console Corner. Tonight is another really great show we have lined up for you. But first, on last week's show, we talked about Horizon Zero Dawn. Shadow of War has been confirmed, and Halo will have split screen.
They're saying there's no sound.
Oh.
Well, apparently there is sound
There's definitely
because
sound.
I can hear it through Newf.
Yeah, we're good.
So there's sound.
Go ahead and check that one out if you haven't already. On this week's show, we'll be talking about Switch and Zelda impressions, Mass Effect, and Halo story is utter and complete shit, but they're going to turn it around, and Borderlands 3.
Oh. What?
Fox is just like, ooh.
It came out of left
The way you
field.
said that, I was like, oh, shit.
I can't wait to see what our panel thinks about these topics tonight. Please, everyone, make sure you're subscribed and following this great panel so you can stay up to date with whatever we're doing. If you could also hit that like button, we'd really appreciate that. It does help us out. But first, let's introduce our great panel of epic gamers this week. And we have a return, Mr. Triple Cup Chuck.
Hey, what's out with the GKB and SheWulf and everybody on the console count panel? You heard me. And everybody in the chat, I see y'all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for having me on here. This your boy Triple Cup Chuck and I'm up. Let's get this hype train started.
I love that intro. Triple Cup Chuck. That's awesome. Next up, we have
Up in the way.
the Lady Fox Fire.
Hi, what's up, everybody in the chat? Quick announcement for you guys.
I'm so scared right now.
I didn't even tell the panel. I didn't tell my homies here because I wanted to sound like a nerd live.
We're all suspenseful.
Today is the official day last year that I started on the console corner.
Oh, it's been a year?
Yeah, it's been a year to the day.
Whoa.
And the reason I know that is because last year it was on a Monday. Remember when Console Corner was on Mondays?
Yep.
Yeah.
remember.
And we were talking about the Division so much in that episode. I actually went back and listened to it. Yeah, it was pretty funny. So I just wanted to say I'm happy to be here with you guys still, and you guys are awesome.
We just can't get rid of you,
And-
Fox. Like, you just won't go.
You guys are awesome, and I'm just happy to be here still. So, happy anniversary, guys.
And the curse is working right now because you're botting again.
Yeah.
No!
I jinxed her so bad before the show.
Yeah, you did.
How dare you? Well, anyway, I'm just happy to be here. God damn
But
it.
happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, yeah,
Like,
that's awesome.
That is amazing. Like, that's awesome that,
It's been that long
year.
already.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Oh, also, did you guys know we had like 7 people in that episode? I was like,
I think we had a
wow.
lot. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we had a lot of people. Who else was in there?
Bam was in there, Zaz, Asthmatic, Livewire.
Yeah, we just had like everybody that loved the Division, I think.
Yeah,
crazy.
it was awesome. I'm happy that you guys convinced me to jump on here and chat with you guys.
Yeah, look at you now. Just blowing up all over the
Yeah.
place. Cool. All right, so that's awesome, Fox. Let's go ahead and move on to the man, the myth, Mr. Pole Dancer Extraordinaire, Magic Mike.
Oh man, I gotta follow up after that epic intro by Triple Cup and Fox's 1 year anniversary. I don't know what to say. I'm here. All right, let's go.
Nice.
Short,
You should
sweet,
put some
and done.
music.
I know, right? Dun, 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 dun. All right, next up, we have Mr. Crystal Clear, Mike himself, Newf Nukem.
Yeah, baby, it is time to get going. Yes, Newf Nukem finally got himself a microphone, and apparently it's even getting female game members on the panel a little bit hot and steamy, which is pretty good, I
Whoa.
guess.
That was so
We're going to
funny,
have a
dude.
great show. It's going to be an awesome show. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. We hope you enjoy. Got lots of great stuff to get down into this evening.
Awesome.
Oh, Jesus. I can't believe he actually said that.
I knew that was coming. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Not
next,
surprised.
we have the First Lady of Xbox, SheWulf.
Hello, guys. I hope you guys are ready to talk some gaming. Because, well, that's what we're here for.
Cheer up. Jeez, you're such a downer.
What? Does everyone, do I need to, start jumping up and down? And
Yes,
oh my God.
yes,
oh
that
my
would be
God,
awesome.
No, it's not happening.
Cool. Everybody in the chat, on Twitter, and wherever else you are, get us those questions. We will be answering them at the end of the show like we always do because it's super awesome and fun. I guess the bad news. GKB had a lot of stuff going on, and I was not able to get clip of the week done this week. So, I'm sorry, guys. My apologies.
Oh, dude.
I know.
I'm so disappointed in you right
there's
now,
going to be
bro.
like 5 polls tomorrow being like, GKB is such a hater for the community and this, that, and the other. I just can't wait.
Well,
That's more haterade than he's
well, it
drinking there.
depends. Hold on, it depends. Are you actually going to be the one starting the poll?
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Anybody
it's
want my
understandable with all those unboxings you had this week.
It's not even done, bro. Like,
Oh,
we got so
got,
much
like,
stuff that
we
just came
got
in.
new stuff coming tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's going to be crazy. Rocking out my new Astros. So happy. Don't ever buy any other headset besides Astros. They're just...
How dare you?
I'm sorry, Fox.
She's got those Gears HyperX.
HyperX for the win. Except for the
Exactly.
body. That's just like the internet. That's not my headset.
Nice.
Man,
Or
I'm
so
still
you
rocking
hope.
some 5-year-old Turtle Beaches.
I was actually thinking about
Outta
getting
here.
some of them like pro Turtle Beach ones. They were like
Ew.
$200 or something.
No,
And she was like,
Actually,
no.
they're more like 6 years old now.
I
They've
would
been around a while.
rather spend the money on like Astros than spend the money on Turtle Beaches because they are just that bad.
Yeah, I hear they're not too good anymore, but when I got my headset, they were top of the line.
Yeah. They kind of like hit or miss with Turtle Beaches. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. After the introductions, let's go into the favorite topic that I love talking about, and that's what we played this week. I actually played a lot of crap, but we're not going to start with me. Let's start with our guest this week, Mr. Triple Cup. What you been playing, bro?
A whole lot of nothing.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah.
I love that game. That game's awesome.
Yeah, that's the end of the year. But,
Well, that's the Xbox Game of the Year because Xbox got no games.
Yeah,
We all
it sounds a
got
lot
nothing
like
to
the
play.
Switch lineup. Nothing.
right. Hey,
Oh,
I ain't through that cross. But I've been playing. I pretty much been catching up on my back catalog. Like I put in Shout out to Modoc, like somebody else was saying, you know, I got the, you know what I'm saying, the bug of the hype train coming, but I ain't really get a chance to play it too much. I play, you know, I'm a big Ark fan. For everybody that know me, I'm addicted. I need rehab. I cannot leave that game alone. Yeah, me and my,
You heard it here
Yeah.
first, people.
yeah.
Get him the white jacket because he needs rehab.
What the?
I don't think it's the white jacket.
She was just so crazy right now.
He said
It might,
he
it
said
might just be the
it.
white gloves or something.
Oh,
That's
my
the OG
You have a
I'm
new
going in my
nickname
cup.
after today, Straight Jacket Chuck.
Yep.
Hey, they got a little ring to it.
Hey,
That
I've
does actually.
worn one
I
of
like
those straight jackets. They're kind of funny to try to get out of.
That
No,
sounds-
Sorry? Whoa.
No.
We're gonna move on. I'll let SheWulf talk the rest of the show, guys.
Wow, that's not
Exposed.
what I meant.
There's your next unboxing video.
Extreme.
Dude, what you been playing, bro?
Let me see. I've been playing, I guess you could say,
Switch.
Tetris with the toilet seat in the bed, trying to find a place to fit right now.
I hear you.
Now I've been playing, obviously, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn and a few things. But mostly those two games have been consuming me the last little while. So, yeah, I hate to, be a Debbie Downer on the Xbox situation. I know there's people going, what? But, hey, that's what I've been playing.
No, that's fine, man. It's good games. Good games. What about you, Mike? What you been playing, bro?
well, like Triple Cup.
Triple what?
I went.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
That's right. You know, have a couple drinks before the show. You can talk fine. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
my gosh.
No, I went back to Shadow of Mordor. That I didn't even say that right. Shadow of Mordor. Yeah,
Stop. Put the wine
hype
down
train
for
is
1
real.
second.
I'm putting it down. It's going away.
And blame it on the Biden.
But yeah, I went back to that game. It still holds up so well. Like I was really surprised because I haven't played it probably in about maybe 2 years, and it really still contends with new games coming out. It perfected the Assassin's Creed style, in my opinion. But other than that, I've been playing some Forza Horizon 3. Played a little bit of Killer Instinct earlier in the weekend. Just a little bit of this and that.
Nice. What about you, Fox? What you been playing?
Oh no, I was on Twitter. Okay, I'm
I don't
back.
remember.
Yes, of course, Gears of War. Let's get that out of the way because we all know.
Mhm.
And Horizon.
How do you play any other
Zero.
games? Like when you just Gears all the time? I don't understand.
What are you talking about, man? Don't hate. Don't
I'm not
hate.
hating. Well, I've been drinking the
Player?
Haterade. So.
yeah, I just play it on and off almost every other night. But anyway, besides that, Horizon Zero Dawn, played that last night as well. A little bit of Zelda at my friend's house. It was mostly her playing, but I tried it. It was very pretty. Um, Life is Strange. I jumped back into that, so I can officially say I've played it on both systems. Uh, or actually, no, 4 systems, because PS3 and 360 as well.
Holy cow.
So I just played that because I love that game so much. And
Apparently.
also, Bad Company Vietnam. I played that online as well. So that's free, by the way, if anybody doesn't have that.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
That's about it.
Sweet.
Nice.
What about you, SheWulf? What you been playing? Really?
I know I've been playing something.
Really right now?
Well, I've been watching you play a lot of games.
That's true. You have.
I haven't really been playing them, but I've watched you play them.
I told you yesterday that doesn't count, girly.
Well, yeah, but hey,
That's like me watching Twitch.
True.
Oh, geez, what the heck have I been playing this week?
Fail.
I know that is a fail.
Indies.
No, I haven't really even been playing any indies this week either.
So you haven't been playing anything?
You've been too busy unboxing shit this week.
That's true.
Well, we've been doing a lot of editing and stuff and getting ready for upcoming streams and stuff, so I haven't really...
Exposed SheWulf doesn't play no games.
Oh, damn.
Well, we were working on like Beam stuff and everything, so I'm kind of... I don't know. I know I've played something. I
You've
have
playing
been
the
on
YouTube
my...
game.
I played Sea of Thieves.
Can't talk about that.
Oh.
No, but I can say I played
It's
it.
Fight Club. We can't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah.
I can say I played it though. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I know I've played something, but I just can't think.
Cool. Let's see. What have I been playing? I played Horizon Zero Dawn. Beat that game. Super fun game.
Whoa.
I enjoyed the crap out of it. Been playing some Zelda on the Switch. We picked up the Pro controller. That's actually a really good controller. I like it. Been playing some indies, Tabletop Racer. We got Verdun. Then
Oh, Shift
messing around.
Happens. We were playing
Shift
that.
Happens. We were playing. Yep, playing a lot of indies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you say you played that Verdun game?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Well, I have.
Oh, you did play it
Yeah.
already?
I was going to ask how it was because, I mean, I saw some pictures of it and it actually looked like it had decent graphics for like an indie game, but...
Yeah, so I can't talk about it until tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I could just say I got it, and that's about it.
In that exclusive club.
Yeah, I got that embargoes. Can't talk about anything.
Oh yeah, that comes out. Yeah.
But yeah, just a bunch of other indies that I've been playing, trying to catch up on stuff. I'm really just been trying to bang out these RPGs. Horizon Zero Dawn. Now I'm gonna work through Zelda before Mass Effect comes out because I'm gonna be like knee deep into that until I finish it. So RPG month for sure.
Yeah,
Oh, we
it
just
is.
got Wildlands too that we gotta get into.
Oh yeah, we just
Gonna be playing that
hopefully
after
playing
show.
that tonight. So.
Yeah. So that's about it. Cool. I guess we're gonna get into our topics for tonight. Everybody went? Yep, I think so. Cool. Ready? Let's go into our first topic of the night. So PlayStation Store services are gonna have a price increase. Not really from PlayStation themselves. It's more due to U.S. state taxes and all that kind of stuff. And we're just talking about this as more of a public service announcement to everybody, just to give you a heads up. So if you see your bill get a little bit higher for PlayStation Plus or View or any other of the services that you use on PlayStation, they might increase depending on your state. What does everybody think?
That sucks.
Yeah. Depending on your state, yeah, it could really suck.
I think it has something to do with like I know people may disagree with me, but I think it has something to do with Donald Trump because of his whole.
I didn't want to say that.
She will bring politics in here.
Well, I don't mean to, but you know, he did state that things coming into the U.S. from overseas, there would be taxes and all that kind of stuff, so that you know, the whole people jobs and whatever. So it just seems weird that all of a sudden, you know, he goes into office and he did state that. And now there's taxes on some things that are actually overseas. So
Well, see, now that's supposed to be more of an import tax. At least that's my understanding of it. I don't want to get too deep into politics, but I don't think that's passed yet. And I don't think that has anything to do with the PS Plus. Or it's not even really PS Plus. It's just that the services through PSN are going to be charging the state sales taxes. That's the way I understand it. Is that right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
So
Yeah.
for me, now, Xbox has been doing this to me for about 2 years now. And I'm perfectly fine with that. When I first got the Xbox One, I made the decision to go all digital, and I was buying digital games at $59.99, no tax or anything like that. The first year of doing that, I basically got a notice from the state of Pennsylvania saying that, hey, if you've made any digital purchases, you need to send us receipts for all those so that we can bill you for the sales tax. And that was a hefty bill because I'd made quite a few digital purchases in that year. So now that Microsoft has been charging me for that, I don't have to keep track of it. I don't have to keep my receipts. I don't have to worry about being audited. And I think as we move into more and more of a digital future, this is just something people are going to have to get used to.
Yep.
Because if you're not paying your state sales tax at the end of the year, like come April 15th, and you do get audited and you've made digital purchases that you didn't pay sales tax on, you could get really effed in the A. So this is a good thing.
I didn't know that Xbox already did that in some states. I didn't know that.
I think it depends on the state. Pennsylvania put a law into effect that I don't know exactly when it went into place, but I know that they required digital services to start charging you that sales tax.
Well,
and I think
then,
Microsoft just got
obviously,
ahead of
it's
the
not
game.
Donald Trump, and it's just they decided.
Well, it's just old news for us Canadians up here because I've been paying sales tax on all my purchases since like forever. Basically, it's all there. Every time I buy a game, they put the tax on there. So, it's there. I guess I just haven't paid much attention to it, but it's there.
I think it depends on the state's infrastructure and whether or not they have a way of receiving that sales tax from a digital distribution.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, taxes are here to stay, people. Like, you're going to, depending on where you are and all that kind of stuff, you're just going to have to pay a little bit more based on your state. I don't think this is a really big deal. I don't think this is like PlayStation sucks kind of thing. I just, I wanted everybody to be aware of this, so when you see your bills or whatever, you understand where it's coming from.
Yeah, not only that, some people just don't see it. They don't notice those things, especially if they're not being taxed that much. I think Amazon has been doing this for a long ass time already.
Well, I know.
They're not giving you only digital; they're shipping stuff to you also. But the fact that you're buying it online depends on your state. They will tax you differently.
Well, that's a good point because I've noticed that when using Prime and stuff, it didn't used to, like, for the longest time. I think it was like the beginning of last year, most of it was never taxed. And then recently, near the end of last year, Amazon started taxing in certain states. Florida became one of them. And now you kind of see it on the odd items, so...
Yeah,
Big
so I think online for sure you'll see it. And also, like, my brother's company started doing it recently, and they had to pay for it themselves because they didn't know about it. But they will be adding that to their job, and like they changed their software and a whole bunch of stuff over there as well.
Big shout out to the 90+ people watching us right now. We love you guys. You guys rock. What's up, Iceman? Supersonic Remix. I'm going to do the thing that pisses off SheWulf right now. Soapski.
Well, because when I
Master
do it, they
Yoda,
start being
Tomatos,
like jerks, and they're
and
like,
everybody
"Oh,
else I
my
missed."
toilets and all this other crap." But when they do it, it's okay.
Whatever. Okay. Whatever. So yeah, just a public service announcement. You might see your PlayStation Plus stuff go up or something like that. Not a big deal, guys.
To SheWulf's point from earlier with the import tax that might be imposed, that's going to be something that you're going to see on like games developed in Japan that are then shipped to the United States.
And stuff like that too.
I was gonna say, what about
consoles, if they're made overseas, you're going to see a tax increase on those. Whether or not the manufacturer is going to pass that price increase off to the consumer, though, that's up to them. Nobody knows.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to happen.
I'm sure it will.
They're going to bite into their bottom line, bro. Cool. So just heads up, everybody. Your stuff could be increasing depending on your state. So let's go ahead and move on to Bonnie Ross. Went and talked about Halo 5 and all that kind of stuff, and she wants to have Halo 6 with a simple but stronger story. So I want to go around what everybody thought about like Halo 5 story, and do you think what she's saying is relevant? Did you guys like it? Do you want to see a change and all that kind of stuff? What are your guys' thoughts? Don't all speak at once.
Okay. I like the Halo 5 story, but I think that when it comes to getting into... There was a lot of political motivations that kind of happened in the Halo 5 story, so I think that kind of... It put a little bit of a downer on it, and what Bonnie Ross was saying was keeping it simple but strong, and I think that if you look back at all the great movies, the great literature, all the great games of the past that have a really strong narrative... The narrative that they use can be universally applied to different settings. I think that's what she means by keeping it simple. the best example I could draw is Avatar the movie. Okay, Avatar the movie was a good movie. I enjoyed watching it, but it's Last of the Mohicans in space. So
Essentially,
that
yes.
universal theme was applied to a different movie, and that can be true. Like going all the way back to Shakespeare and classic literature, those themes remain true from one generation to the next. So it's getting to the heart and soul of what it is to be human. And let's get philosophical here. Those are the types of stories that really sell.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, for me, like, I thought. Sorry for anybody cut off. Halo. I thought Halo 5's like story was pretty good. I mean, for what it was, I get like the whole marketing thing, and it set it up as possibly something else that the story really didn't deliver and all that kind of stuff. I understand that, but for me, like, I dug the squad-based mechanics. I thought that was really good and stuff. But at the end of the day, I wanted to play Master Chief, and that's what I kept going back to over and over and over again. It's like I just wanted to play this game as Master Chief and not just like everyone else, like what was going on in the story. And that's what I hope, what she's saying as far as the story goes is maybe like taking a lot of that other stuff and going back to its roots where it's just Master Chief on his own fighting off a shit ton of aliens and blowing up all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's my whole thing about it, because like the whole jumping back and forth, I find like obviously it wasn't hard to understand, but at the same time it pulled you out of the story. If they would have done two separate stories, like you could pick what side you wanted to play.
Like the whole thing as Slock or whatever.
Yes, because I find it pulled you out of like when you were getting all like Master Chief, he'd get all intense trying to find Cortana, but then you'd be pulled out of it because you had to go play as Locke and do something like that's irrelevant but wasn't really irrelevant. And I just find if you would have been able to play the whole story to like say everything that Chief had to do from where he got to his end, or you had to go back and play the other campaign from Locke from where he started to, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of back stuff that we missed, and the back and forth I didn't like.
I think the other part of it too is like, us as gamers, we want to see innovation, we want to see different and new things, and then when we get it, we're kind of like, I really didn't want that. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword to us, and it's kind of funny like when you see this stuff on like social media and everything. It's just like, well, you wanted it, then you don't want it. Like,
well, I didn't want it. I've never asked for that.
Well, yeah, you look at a lot of these games, and after a while they start to become status quo, and then one of the knocks on it is that they don't take enough risks, they don't do this, they don't do that, and then and that becomes a crutch when it's review time. So, but when you have a character who's as iconic as Master Chief, I mean, I'd say 90% of us, that's who you want to play as. You want to spend your time in the role of Master Chief. Like, they could easily do a story that has optional side missions that explore other characters, but don't force you to have to do those missions. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to play them, great. And if you don't play them, they just roll out into like a cinematic or something like that. Mm-hmm. And, because I think when they're trying to bring in the characters, they want the 4-player thing to kind of make sense to the average player instead of just whacking guys into the game. And then you're like, what role do they even serve here? How do they make sense in the whole story? I mean, personally, I liked Halo 5. I found I didn't think it was too bad. Maybe it was a little too much Locke and not enough Chief, but overall, I was kind of digging where it was going. And can you imagine any other franchise that takes as many risks? I mean, you take Legend of Zelda. I mean, if we were playing the new game right now and you went halfway through the game and you didn't play as Link, wouldn't you be a little bit bothered and sort of upset?
Absolutely.
So why take that same risk constantly with Master Chief? They started with Halo 2 when they switched over to the Arbiter sort of story, and I remember that didn't get received very well at the time either, but some people liked it. So I don't know. It's like I said, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Exactly.
Which is funny because Gears did it, but Gears did it right. Like taking you away from Marcus Phoenix, where you didn't actually get to play him. People really didn't complain about getting to play his son. Like that actually, once it released, like at first people were questioning about it, of course. But once you actually got to play it, and they actually got to see the story, it really didn't come across where, at least I didn't notice anyone really complaining that they had to play as JD and couldn't play as Marcus.
Well, that one is a little bit different because that is his son. But I did hear the complaints coming out of Judgment. And people are playing as Baird.
Yeah.
So it does depend on the game.
Was that just because like
when it came to
Judgment was just a crappy game?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it just wasn't.
I mean,
because I liked Baird. I thought Baird was hilarious.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's part of it, but I didn't mind the story. The campaign I liked. I didn't like the controls and I didn't like the multiplayer aspect of it. But like the campaign was okay with me. I know some people that don't like Baird, so that's why I say that. But obviously JD is different because that's the son. So it's a part of Marcus and Anya. So that's why a lot of people let it go and they just wanted to try it for themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Halo 2, I didn't really like going back and forth. I didn't like it at all, actually. But I still liked the campaign. I liked the story so much. And the fact that I played it remastered, I thought that was amazing.
Absolutely.
I can tell you, with a lot of those Sonic games, when the Sonic games started to go off in different directions too, and they started bringing in
like
all the
Knuckles,
other characters, I was like,
Shadow.
fuck this shit. I just want to play Sonic. I don't want all these other goofball
Yeah,
characters.
true. But like overall, Halo 5 didn't bother me at all. I enjoyed Halo 5 overall. Despite the marketing and all of that, I thought it was a great game. Yeah, obviously I love Master Chief. He's my favorite. But I mean, the game is called Halo, so at the end of the day, I can't be too mad at them, because it's not called Master Chief.
Right. Exactly.
But at the same time, and Halo 4, I believe they did it right because they had like a side, like I think it was called Spec Ops or like it had side stories, side missions. Apart from you playing the main story as Master Chief, you could play those side missions on co-op with someone, and those were different, and they did a different storyline. So they should have done that with Locke if they would have seen this coming. But now they know better, and going forward, they could obviously taking away the whole back and forth, switching between characters thing, and then just work on the main story that they want for Chief or whatever for Halo, obviously. So I'm looking forward to it either way, but I didn't have a problem with Halo 5 at all.
Yeah, like for me, like I finished up like Halo Wars 2 and stuff like that, and I liked how they're tying, the series together with the mainline Halo game as well. So I'm really excited for Halo 6 and the story that they're going to bring. I really can't wait for it. So
There's going to be a new spin-off title. I hear it's called Mistress Queef.
No chills.
2 makes a good point. How do you think everyone would feel if the dynamic was you got to play as Master Chief and then you got to play as Cortana?
That would be way different than anything we've ever done, so I don't know.
Honestly, I'd rather just have Cortana in my helmet just talking to me and,
like
saying dumb shit all the time.
She's supposed to be
Yeah,
thing.
like that's what my favorite part about it. I don't really know if I want to like play as Cortana because really she's just jacked into computers and you're just like, what are you going to do? Like, I don't know.
I think they need better enemies. I think the storyline needs a better. I just find they're just too much of the same. I didn't like the Promethean people at all. They were boring. I mean, I like the elites better than them.
Well, that's why I hope they tie in like to Halo Wars 2
You know.
with Atriox and the Banished and all that kind of stuff.
Ooh, the brutes.
Yeah,
Get it.
I mean, there's still like brutes and Covenant and stuff like that, but just like their tenacity and everything that when you play through Halo Wars 2, I think would be a very good challenge for like Master Chief and stuff. So,
I think 5 was just a preview for 6.
Yeah,
like it fell to the excuse me, it fell through like when you watch a movie and they just pretty much setting it up for the next movie, so they didn't put all into it. And I feel like how she would feel like they should have made it a choice where you could have played with Master Chief, or you could have played as Locke, and then you could just ran the whole story with Chief, and you could have ran the whole story as Locke. And at the end, it came to one big ending at the end where you got to play through both of them to see the real ending at the end, and then ventured it off into what they're gonna do with 6. And how they were saying about making it simple for 6, I think they're just trying to make it like what the casuals could keep up with it and just keep it straightforward, not have it where it be all around the world where you have to be deep down into the Halo lore. To know what's going on. They trying to make it simple where anybody could pick it up and play it, but at the same time it still feed the hardcore.
I think they were also, though, in Halo 5, were trying to just see if they could possibly put in a new character to possibly take out Master Chief, because they do have to take those risks when they're trying to say keep a game going, because eventually people do get bored of the same character doing the same kind of things, and I think they were just trying.
Don't you think they could have done it better?
Test the water a little.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think they should have tested the water, like maybe like what they did with like ODST and Reach and all that kind of stuff. Made like an off game with Locke, like get people like liking Locke and all that kind of stuff, and not just kind of like throw it in their face like in the mainline game.
They should just take Buck and do it. Oh my god, I could play a whole game of Buck, baby. Bring him on.
So you saying what, Chief must die?
I'm not saying that. I need Chief
saying
forever.
I would never
Chief
say
forever.
He must die.
You better fall back.
Eventually he's going to get old.
No,
Man,
he
Chief
can cryo sleep forever.
Oh, he's gonna cryo sleep
Yeah.
forever.
Oh, yeah, when it comes to the Halo universe, like they could do so much to extend Chief's life, and all the experiments that were done on him when he was younger to
It's a
make
sci-fi
him
game,
into what he
for
is
sure.
now. Like who knows how long that's going to let him live? Like
Yeah,
there
exactly.
are ways
That's
you can
true.
explain around that. I think they should do spin-offs though, and I think like Locke and Buck and Team Osiris, like that would be a great like Halo Osiris. I would love to see a spin-off of that.
Big shout out
they should
to
have done that.
the 100+ watching us right now. You guys are freaking awesome. We love you guys. Big shout out to
Hello,
Frodo. He's
everybody.
dropping codes in the chat. Make sure you
fancy.
say thank you if
And
you win it.
congrats to Oates because he was an awesome person who actually said he got the codes. So make sure you guys say thank you.
Hey, while you're at it,
Awesome.
got 100 people watching. Hit that like button. Come on, let's get them up there.
Okay, Crap Gamer.
I was gonna say that.
Hey, no,
whatever.
I got one
It
for
works.
you. Say Magic Mike. I know a magic trick.
Oh, what's that?
I know a magic trick. Hey, everybody out there in the chat, if you touch the like button, I can magically make it turn blue.
Oh my god.
Oh, I get it.
Nice. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We love Halo. We want to see some cool stuff. I want to play as Master Chief the whole game.
Yeah,
goddammit.
bring
Let's
it
do
on,
this.
but don't break our hearts.
Yeah, don't break our hearts. So I want to talk about Tekken 7 next. So there's going to be no cross-platform play due to first-party
Yeah.
security issues and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like reading these articles and I'm going through and I'm like, wait a minute here. I understand like the Tekken devs are being very political and being nice about it, but Microsoft has clearly come out and said, "Hey, we're opened up to everybody." Like with Rocket League and all that kind of stuff coming out, we're like, we'll play together with anyone. And I have it really hard to believe that Microsoft is one of the ones that was like, "Nah, I don't want this to happen." I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's probably Sony still doing Sony things.
Well, I mean, honestly, I wasn't even really surprised at this at all because Tekken 7 is using a peer-to-peer connection for the multiplayer. And how would you do peer-to-peer across two different consoles running two different operating systems? I mean, Rocket League, does that use servers? That's not peer-to-peer, is it?
I'm not really
Yeah,
sure on that one.
it's-
Man.
I think it is peer to peer.
I want to say.
Oh, is it?
was,
Okay,
Yeah, I
well,
but-
think
then
so.
that just like shuts down my entire argument, so never mind.
But I mean, even still, like
But-
I'm sure these like dev gurus are gonna be like figuring it out, right? Like, I mean, even the
Yeah.
Rocket League guy was like, "All I gotta do is push the button, Sony. Come on, bro."
Yeah, they were like, I'm ready, but they still let Xbox go with PC and PlayStation go with PC, and it's working just fine. People are still
Exactly.
playing that game. The thing about Tekken, even though he's saying it's all first party, that's their choice. I don't care, dude. Why can't we go against PC? And now he's saying that he doesn't want to split the PC audience for one set to go with Xbox and the other set to go with PlayStation. So he's not going to do it at all, and that's very disappointing.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, why would you even take that stance to begin with? Why don't you like let them play? Because like more players playing, regardless
Yeah.
if it's that or the other. Like,
Yeah,
It's
keep
still
it
more
keep
fun
it
to play.
alive.
For the game.
yeah, like that doesn't make any sense to me. His argument was just like, whatever, bro.
No, and then after the fact, he was having conversations with people on Twitter, and they wanted to know why, and why don't you do this, or why don't you try that, and eventually he was like, I don't even want to talk about it no more. Like, don't ask me about it. I was like,
don't
what?
talk to
Are you mad, bro? Are you mad? he should really try to at least give us Xbox versus PC if he can, but he just wants to leave it everybody separate, and I don't like that because it's gonna kill the game off very quickly.
Yeah,
Right.
like I mean, that's one of those
But
games.
Hold on a
Go ahead.
minute, though. I'm going to be the opposite. Because look at
Devil's
Gears.
advocate.
Well, Gears got friggin' PC versus Xbox, and people are all bitching about it because of keyboard and mouse.
Not all
So-
people.
Well, but that's a
Yeah,
shooter.
We're
Okay,
talking about
there's
shooter
a
and a
big-
fighter.
But
hello,
PC
fighter.
guys,
Think
and
about it.
I'm not like talking shit about PC guys, but there's a lot of guys out there that have like hacked like sticks and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
that they can do things that console guys can't. So there's still that, even with fighters too. So
Fighters are just
Don't
as
they have-
easily.
Don't they have a way to block that? Because I don't see KI and Street Fighter having that many issues. PC versus console.
yeah, I'm sure they have a ways if they implement it and they actually
Right.
watch it and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
not
they
that many
do
people
more.
playing Street Fighter to complain about it, so.
I think they do that more for like the ranked stuff than they do just like public, the lobbies
Right.
and stuff. but-
Right.
Hey, you think they got anything to do with Play Anywhere too? That's a good way for them to let you know it's not going to be on the Play Anywhere.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a
They
Play
don't
Anywhere
wanna
title,
play-
then There
Yeah,
should
they would
definitely
have
be
that.
PC Xbox crossplay. That wouldn't make sense if it was play
Yeah,
Another
anywhere.
wasn't.
disappointment.
Right.
God damn
I'm
it,
just saying
Second. What are you
for
doing?
them saying it just to let everybody know that it's no chance in hell that there's gonna be a play anywhere game.
No, it won't be. Like if they have this
Yeah, it
like
does.
hard of a stance of like we're just gonna segregate all the player base and that's it. Like I don't think it's gonna be play anywhere.
Well, I suck at fighting games, so you know what? It doesn't really matter to me. The less people lining up to kick my ass, the better.
I mean that's true. Like I'm not a huge Tekken fan. I've played them and they're good and all that kind of stuff. But I'm much more like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, like KI and all that kind of stuff.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs.
I mean, I
Capcom.
agree with you, but I grew up with Tekken, so it has a soft place in my heart because I just saw the video for Eddie, and I was like, oh my god, he looks amazing. But
does.
They got
it's a bit
Gone
disappointing.
coming back.
Yo,
You and
Sega, bring back
I like
Virtua
them.
Fighter, bitches. That's what you need. Virtua Fighter.
Ah,
Virtual
Who on the
Fighter's good.
marketing rights?
I don't know. Sega still? I don't know.
No, I'm talking
Sega,
about,
Sega still owns that IP.
Yeah, no, I was talking about
Tekken,
Tekken. Yeah,
Oh, Tekken?
Xbox.
Yeah. Because they were up on the
Yeah.
E3 stage and everything, like showing that game off.
Yeah,
yeah. I thought
Which
I
is a
seen
bit
with Sonic too,
disappointing.
though. But
it would be
yeah.
nice if we had versus PC or Play Anywhere or like extra little incentives. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I'm
we got
not
a Kuma.
surprised. I'm just not surprised. Not anymore. Like it's
Hold on. You say not no more?
well, like I'm nowadays devs go so wishy-washy about what they're doing, but even like the
It's the day of
companies-
social media, people.
It is like
Yeah.
everything. Like no matter what a dev does, they're pretty much told like, oh, they're doing something wrong, and then once they do something wrong, then like social media just comes out and destroys them. So then other games don't want to do it because they don't want the chance of being like. It's kind of one of those you're doomed if you do and doomed if you don't. So I'm
Doom and
not
gloom, baby.
surprised. I'm just not.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, if they don't know how to do it properly, you're right. But it is disappointing, though, regardless.
I agree. It's
When
disappointing.
other fighters are doing it and they're not, it's a bit disappointing.
Well,
'Cause
are
it feels
the,
like
are
you're
the
getting
other
something
fighters
less.
peer to peer?
I think all
know
fighters
if-
are peer-to-peer.
No, wait, I don't
Hold on,
think
is Mortal
Tekken is.
Kombat doing it?
Tekken
Is Mortal
has
Kombat doing
servers.
it?
What?
Because Street Fighter doing it, but Street Fighter is strictly on the PlayStation. KI doing it, but KI is straight on the Xbox.
Xbox,
but
yeah.
it's Mortal Kombat doing it.
I have no idea, actually, but
So
I
that'll
don't
be the
think
one to
so.
know.
Mortal Kombat doesn't do any sort of like PC console crossplay.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, that
I
probably
can't
be
say 100%.
yeah. They probably seeing the same thing with Mortal Kombat because that's a very popular game, and if Mortal Kombat not doing it, they probably saying, well, it might be harder for us to do it because Street Fighter could do it because it's strictly on the PlayStation, or KI could do it because it's strictly on the Xbox. They ain't got
Right, because
right.
it's a first-party game compared to a third-party game. Right, I got
Right.
you.
Well, but then that goes back to the original argument of, which first party is it that's preventing this crossplay from happening? Is it, the Sony side of the first party or the Microsoft side of the first party? Which KB was saying early on was, we already know Microsoft has given the green light for Rocket League to go ahead and do crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation.
Or
So-
almost anybody, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
really,
pretty much
where
what
is
it
the
comes
roadblock?
down to. Is it could just be Sony saying no, we don't want it. So the devs are just pretty much saying, all right, we're not going to do it at all.
I mean,
Like,
I'm going to go out there on
yeah,
a limb and say
yeah.
it was Sony. Like, they didn't do it for Rocket League. Why would they do it for anything else at this point?
but at the same
Right.
time, though, somebody pointed, like, you guys pointed out that, why aren't they doing it PC to the consoles then? But I guess if, the dev doesn't want to put it in, if they wanted, say, like, all cross-play, and they're like, oh, no, we don't want it. So they're like, well, fine, we just don't want to
We're
give
not gonna do
cross-play
any of
to
it.
anybody. Because, maybe they have
Right.
the coding only for that.
Well,
Which
on
is
the
also
PC side,
possible.
you would have to set up like a PlayStation PC crossplay lobby and then a
Yeah,
Xbox
he did say he
PC
didn't want to
crossplay
split
lobby.
audience.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it in the long run, it would be more coding for them to do.
yeah, I think at the end of the
So-
day, he was like, well, if they're not all going to do it, I'm not just going to do it for anybody kind of thing.
Which is understandable. It's a good business point, and also at the same time, they end up selling more copies because it's either you play on the Xbox or you play on your PC. You can't just play on both kind of things. So or you play on your PlayStation.
I think at the end of the day, it still kind of sucks. But
Yeah,
Anyway.
I agree.
all right, let's go ahead and move on to a bunch of Phil news, Scorpio news, all kinds of craziness that I want to get into. So Phil goes to Japan. Xbox social manager for Spain says lots of games for the Scorpio this year. And I've been seeing a lot on like social media and stuff, and even on other podcasts where people are talking about like the kumbaya kind of thing with Xbox and saying congratulations to other platforms and all that kind of stuff. And I want to go around. Let's talk about first, Phil goes to Japan. He's like, there's a lot of interest in all that kind of stuff when he went to Japan about Scorpio and Xbox One. And that's all well and good, but I want to see results of that stuff. I mean, he's coming out saying, yeah, there's a lot of interest, but is that going to equate to any games coming to us? Is that just, PR speak? Like, what do you guys think about it?
I give him an A for effort.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's going to pay off in the immediate future. I think if any deals are being made, it's going to be maybe a year or two down the road before you're going to see that payoff. But what it could mean is maybe more Scorpio support coming from Japanese developers that already have an Xbox One version of a game. Like, maybe SheWulf's upcoming anticipated game of Kingdom Hearts 3 might get a type of Scorpio upgrade. Like, those are the type of deals that I see having a more immediate payoff is, are they going to support the new hardware? When it comes to exclusives or third-party games coming over that maybe weren't coming over in the past, I don't know if we're going to see that in the immediate future before the end of 2017 at all.
Well, like, my thing is, like, a lot of people are like, wait for the Scorpio, things are going to change and all that stuff. And I get that sentiment, and I want to prescribe to that, but at the end of the day, until Microsoft becomes market leader in the console space, I really don't think anything's going to change going forward. I mean, they might have some selling points to some devs to get some marketing and all that kind of stuff, but I think the devs at the end of the day are still seeing, like, there's like 57 million PlayStation 4s out in the wild. That's a big player base and a big, selling point to them devs and stuff like that. So I honestly don't know. Like, it's going to be kind of up in the air this year, and it's going to be a really interesting year altogether.
But what about with the UWP when they make the game? One game and they could downscale it to from the PC to the Scorpio to the S to the Fat.
Yeah,
I mean that would be a good selling point, wouldn't it be?
It is, but I mean it's already been out. I mean, and not a lot are taking advantage of it right now. Like that's kind of like my thing. Like it's already there. Like Phil and all them's like, here's your UWP. We can do all this cool stuff with you and all that stuff. But like really, devs aren't really taking advantage of it yet. I mean, there are some.
How simple is that
Japan
to do actually?
Say that again, Fox.
How simple is that, like, to use? Do we know?
I mean, they state it's
if
like
it's a
simple.
hard process to do.
I don't make. I'm not a video game developer.
No, I'm saying if you've heard.
I mean, like my understanding of it, it's kind of like a container where you put all your code inside of it, and depending on whatever device, it scales to that device and lets it play and pulls whatever assets it needs for whatever it's playing on and all that kind of stuff. Which sounds simple enough, but
right.
I'm no coder or anything like that, so I'm not. Simple.
The reason why I mentioned it is because it could be something
super simple to non-IT folks.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. The reason I mentioned it is because it could be something they could still be trying to figure out. So obviously we haven't seen anything with it right now. But yeah, later on, like he said, in the future. But also, like with Japanese games, they do have exclusives on the Xbox over there that we don't have. He could be trying to get those ported over here and translated and all that good stuff.
Well, personally, I don't see it as being a bad thing that he's over there trying to drum up interest overall in the cause. But I also think that he has to be careful about the properties, and I'm sure that like whoever moves forward, they're going to want to talk about those properties and make sure that they're very selective about what they bring over in order for it to find a bigger market. Because even a lot of the Japanese games that are coming out for the PlayStation 4 don't necessarily sell well in any market. They're not exactly lighting fires under people's asses over here either. It's just that they will sell better simply because of that install base is larger, not just because the game is all that great or what have you. So I think for Phil and the team, they have to make sure like that the property itself that they develop is something that can speak to a Western audience as well as a Japanese audience. And we're starting to see sort of that switch already with a lot of traditional Japanese properties. You look at Resident Evil 7. I mean, you look at how that game is developed now. I mean, that wouldn't have been a couple of years ago. They would have that premise would have got laughed out of the building. And look at them now. Like it's basically like a first-person survival horror game. It's totally different. And you also got the new Final Fantasy game, which has definitely changed more so to cater to the Western culture and our likes and stuff. So again, I think it's a good thing that he's over there promoting, because you don't want to give up on that market, because that's not a good message to send. But at the same time, you have to be very selective.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Like, I totally understand that. But like from my perspective, like if I was a game developer and I'm creating a game, I'd want it on every platform. Like even if it's like just gonna sell a little on that platform, that's more than what I'm getting just putting it on one, right? Like that's what I always prescribe to. I like. If I'm making a game, I want it on everything to get all the potential sales possible.
Yeah, but
like, at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Do the
Like, there's still
developers
a business.
have to pay these companies though to be put on their consoles? Like, do we actually know?
I'm
that?
sure there's some kind of money exchange
So,
between.
like,
yeah, it's going to be like a cost-effective kind of thing. Like, is it going to be worth, putting on these other consoles? And it's not. But
Well,
I mean, I'm just
there's a cost to get a game certified. If they want to come out with a patch, there's a cost to get it hosted. If they want to do DLC, there's a cost associated with that. So yeah, there is some cost involved in getting it on multiple platforms. But I think those costs are offset if you make 500 copies of your game sells on that console. That's going to offset the certification cost, I'm sure.
exactly.
well, and Phil Spencer is just trying to open the range of games and selections that we actually
That
have.
diversity.
Because they do watch Twitter, they do see what people are saying, and there is still, even though I'm sure they won't actually get played, again, this goes back to where people want something and then they get it and then they don't really support it. And I think this kind of goes along the same lines, because Phil Spencer is trying to go over there, he's trying to find those JRPGs that everyone keeps asking for, and and of course, he wants them to be enjoyable as well, because I'm sure he does like those style of games too. He is a gamer in the end. And so when it comes to all of that, he's trying to cater to, obviously, the gaming world and what we all keep asking for, whether we're actually going to support it, like what you just said, or whether we're actually just going to pretty much whine and complain once he gets them, just because people like to whine and complain once they actually get what they want.
You don't tell me what
It's true, though. But it is true, though. And
Yes.
I think it's a good thing. I think no matter how you look at it, Phil Spencer going and at least
Like
seeing...
Triple Cup said, like A for effort for going out there and trying. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
He needs to.
And, no matter what, even there's look at Guerrilla Games and look at all these other developers that are over there. They don't just create JRPGs. There's other amazing games that are and developer companies that are overseas that we don't really get to see much of, and they are on Sony or whatever. Maybe he's trying to trying to get some dice rolling
absolutely.
or something with some of the developers that are on the Sony side and be like, hey, guess what, guys? How'd you guys like to come make a game for Xbox? There's always so much, because he is trying to, again, get games, and that's what we all want. The community wants games, and that's what he's trying, so don't hate him for it.
Hell yeah.
I'm only
Exactly. At the end of the day,
Well
if
said,
the
Grody.
Xbox ends up with 5 or 6 games that only sell 1.5 million to 2 million copies, it's still never a bad thing. You still open up your portfolio. You still please a fan base that is out there, and you never know. You never know when one of those titles will come out and strike gold. I mean, you're hoping that everything you produce is going to be a fucking multi-million-dollar seller. Like, I'm sure they want to record it better than it did. But you still have to throw darts at the board. Not everything is a guaranteed hit. And I think it's even tougher these days because there seems to be several games that every year suck up the entire market. Like Call of Duty is a guaranteed much hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's also going to be scary these days. It's also going to be scary just because of the development time it takes to bring a game to market. I mean, we're talking about 3 or 4 years for a good AAA to get developed and actually go gold and show up on a store shelf, and that makes it really, really hard for developers and for platform owners like Microsoft to be reactive to the community of gamers out there that are using their products. Because if you react to something that's happening right now, you may not see that pay off for another 3 years, and by then, who knows, the people using your platform, they may have moved on to a different agenda by then. So, with this whole trip to Japan, like I was saying earlier, it's I don't expect to see anything coming out of this anytime in the immediate future. So you've got to kind of, put that on the back burner and wait for it to bring to a full boil. It's not going to happen right away.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and move on to the Spain Xbox social manager, coming out and saying there's lots of games for the Scorpio this year. My stance on that is like, I get what he's saying. I don't think he's gonna come out and be like, yo, there's hardly any games for the Scorpio. So take that stuff with a grain of salt, like we always say. But I want to say, like, let's say it's true. Like, how much are those are just going to be like updated games? Like, do you think there's like a lot of new games going to be out for the Scorpio, or is he talking like a mixed bag of, you know, updates and stuff like, you know, Halo and all that kind of stuff, like Witcher and stuff like that? Or do you guys think it's going to be like straight up new games?
It sounds to me like it could be a mixture of things.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want it to make a sound, you know. So
Scorpio's going to have everything.
Yeah, so you want to point out those
That
games that are
premium.
going to use the
How
power.
many times
So
can
of course,
premium be used?
his favorite word.
What was it we were saying on the special edition of Console Corner last Thursday about the Phil Spencer Unlocked interview,
Yep.
where there was a lot that was left unsaid, and it was kind of like reading in between the lines that
Right.
that really let me feel like Microsoft and Xbox has an ace or two up their sleeves to show off at E3. Which, by the way, I really hope we can avoid some leaks this year and actually be pleasantly surprised instead of knowing what's happening before the actual
Right.
conference starts. But
Well,
Exactly.
Hey, they did a pretty good job with the new Shadow War, so.
Yeah, that was like out of nowhere. I was like,
oh yeah,
Well, I gotta say that Unlocked episode with Ryan McCaffrey watching Marty Sleva sweating underneath his collar, dropping his pen. That was the best freaking thing ever. And the look that Phil kind of like gives him.
yeah, he just like stared him down, like, what are you doing? Man?
That was awesome.
Why are you here, bro?
I really think that Phil Spencer and the team, you know, someone pointed out something that made a lot of sense. Phil Spencer started taking over Xbox almost 3 years ago. So if he had developer teams that were kind of like in his back pocket that none of us knew about, those games would be ready to come out now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been about the 3-year period that usually
So
takes.
then, like, when he like got into like the lead role, he had to have immediately see. I don't know, because
but
he was
been-
talking when he got in there. He was like, I had to clean up some of the fluff and stuff that we had in our first parties, which now is letting me
Cleaning house.
like get into that kind of
But
stuff.
I'm sure he had connections before he came boss. Like, I'm sure
Yeah, it
he
could be. Yeah,
I'm
you're right.
sure he
I'm
had
not
the
counting it out.
idea that he was going to become head of Xbox before he became head of Xbox. And I know personally, I like would have found my connections and started getting shit ready because like it's kind of the smart
absolutely.
move
You
to
gotta
do.
hit the ground running.
So I
SheWulf
would-
is like ninja status.
Well, it's a smart way to like if you're taking
Yeah.
over something as big as Xbox, I would want something.
He
in my
came to
back
him one
pocket,
day and
like-
he's like, "Yo, Phil, you're taking over right now. Go."
Yeah, like I don't see that happening.
No, that's not happening.
ready.
So, like, I'm sure Phil had, you know, teams that, you know, he was already in good connections with that he's like, all right, guys, so let's jump into this. And, you know, he kept those quiet, which is very, very well possible because, again, the 3-year period to create a good game is up. And just in time to release the Scorpio, like, doesn't that
Well,
kind of seem...
I think it's going to be telling, like, let's say, you know, he has a Scorpio event. I think that's going to be telling that he's going to have a lot of games to show at E3. Now, if that falls through and he shows Scorpio at E3, I think the opposite is true.
Well-
Then I don't think they're going to have a crap ton. I think what they're going to show is going to be solid, and I think it's going to be good, but it could be just a rebuilding year for next year
Yeah.
kind of thing. So we got all this hardware to kind of, you know, justify the hype and all that kind of stuff. But
Well, Crap posted a video earlier on today with apparently, supposedly a possible leaked list of some games that
yeah.
may come to Scorpio, and I think a few of them were like a Doom 4K 60 frames.
Oh my god,
Another-
I can't wait.
Another Battlefield 4 4K 60 frames. So I suspect a lot of the titles we will see will be possibly like revamped versions of some of the top games on Xbox One with, again, just, you know, showing off some of that potential of what is to come. I don't think we're going to see a lot of, like, I guess
think-
exclusively developed games for at least a year or so yet.
yeah, because it's going to be like kind of just the update things. Like I saw Crap's video too, and I'm skeptical when he came and said like the Battlefield 1 stuff, and only because they use the Frostbite engine and all that kind of stuff. And that thing is such a resource hog. Like even like high-end PCs have a hard time hitting 4K 60 on that damn thing. So I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical with that one, but I think the other ones have no problem, especially like Doom, because it's optimized for AMD stuff and everything anyway. So I don't foresee that having an issue. But Battlefield, I'm kind of skeptical.
You know, with Frostbite, the EA was really on board with DirectX 12 when that was announced.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be too surprised if Frostbite and DirectX 12 have something going on in the background that maybe is unseen to most people that maybe Scorpio might be able to take advantage of. Who knows if it's going to be 4K 60, maybe it'll be 1800p 60, and as long as it's
for me,
60, that's what's important, and it's already
60,
doing that right
exactly.
now.
Yeah, exactly. I think the 60 is the most important thing. Like any higher res, yeah, that's great, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm all about like the textures and the graphic fidelity stuff. I don't care about resolution. Like if it's 1440p, I could care less. I mean, that's better than what we were getting. So.
Yeah, unless you're gaming like 2 feet in front of your TV, the difference between 1800 and 4K is not going to be that noticeable.
Yeah.
Hey, I got.
Good.
I got a quick question. On the podcast Unlocked with Phil Spencer, when he was talking to Ryan McCaffrey, was it just me or he was giving Ryan that look like, I want you to say PlayStation 4 beast now. Say it's a monster. Say it's a beast. I'm waiting for it. I was just looking at him, the look he was giving him. I was like, man, he can't miss a game.
The podcast Unlocked guys look so awkward in that interview. Like, I don't know.
Like dress code too, huh?
It was like they had like jackets on and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but okay.
Phil comes out with an Atriox shirt. He's like, whatever.
I'm underdressed. It's like, but the thing is, though, Ryan McCaffrey kind of like took that whole thing over. And
he did push Phil. Like I give him credit. He was like pushing, trying to get like
which
information.
Was really nice. But I think it
would
have
have
felt a
good
little
show.
better if they would have like actually had the other two ask questions. Because
no.
I just feel they felt.
Ryan was like, "Shut up, Destin. Don't you?"
They were awkward. It's like either just take them out and let Ryan interview him, or actually have them interview. But that's obviously this isn't about that. So.
Yeah, you're right though. It felt like a one-on-one interview, definitely. But at the same time, it was one of the best podcasts I heard from them in a long time. So yeah.
Yeah, if Destin Legary had spoke up, Phil should have been just like, "Hey, aren't you the fucking idiot that posted a picture of the 900p thing?"
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want to get into that stuff. But, here's the other part I wanna hit on this before we move on to like the Switch and Zelda stuff is the whole kumbaya kind of thing, like Microsoft saying, "Hey, good job," to Nintendo and Gorilla and with Horizon and all that kind of stuff. Like me personally, I don't have an issue with this. Like honestly, like with the way social media and everything is right now, it's kind of refreshing to actually see somebody congrat somebody else instead of being like, "Yo, I fucking hate your guts." Like I'm so tired of that crap. Like on Twitter and everything else. Like I think it's refreshing, and I think it shows a lot of class for Xbox and all that kind of stuff. And the other thing is like a lot of us, and especially the CEO has been around for a long time. Like they probably played on the NES. They probably have fond memories of like Nintendo and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, definitely.
And coming out and being like, "Yo, Nintendo, good job. You're kind of doing that stuff." Like, of course they are. Like, I'm sure they're fans of this stuff too. They're in the industry. Like, I'm sure they all talk and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just don't understand the whole issue with this. What do you guys think?
I can one up you right quick. I can one up you.
Good.
A lot of people don't realize this here. Microsoft should say thank you to Sony when they sell a lot, Nintendo, because if you think about it, Microsoft get paid for Sony selling too.
With Havoc and Simplegon and all that kind of stuff, absolutely. Right. They're getting a check every time.
Clap say congratulations.
They're like, make more studios, make more games so I can make more money from you.
More money.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's hit the nail on the head there. I was going to say the same thing. You stole my thunder. But also, I think that from a business perspective, it's really smart for Microsoft to take this approach because as much hate as some people may have out there for the whole kumbaya and, my competitor stuff is great. Look at Nintendo. What did Nintendo do within the last year? They released a Mario game for a third-party hardware platform on iOS and Android. If the Switch doesn't take off, which I'm not trying to say the Switch isn't going to do well. I'm sure it's going to do what it needs to do. But there is a potential in the future that Nintendo may be making third-party games. There is a potential in the future with some of the financial hardships that Sony's been under that Guerrilla Games may not be making Sony exclusives forever.
Exactly.
So why would you want to burn bridges with these types of developers?
You make fantastic points, Mike. Absolutely. You and Cup, spot on, man. I totally agree. Like with the flux and stuff with the industry and stuff, who knows at the end of the day, like we could, lose 343, on the Xbox side, like vice versa.
Isn't there a Crytek working for Sega now?
I want a Horizon Zero Dawn on Xbox.
Damn.
Hey,
she said
y'all hear what Phil Spencer had said too about, he said it very quick and it kind of got overlooked that they have an excellent relationship with Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I saw that. I paid attention to that. I like my eyes lit up when I saw that.
Man, my mind got to just going in 1,000 different directions. What about streaming Xbox games to the Switch? Man, that would be
or
amazing.
some like exclusive games or something from Nintendo. Maybe not like their main line, like Super Mario Odyssey, but like what they're doing with like iOS and Android now with like Super Mario Run and stuff. Like they're very open to like putting their IPs on other devices and stuff. And I'm sure, I'm sure like Phil's
Mario
like,
Run
yo, call
comes
me
out on like the Windows 10 mobile. If that's UWP, then you might be playing Mario Run, just like Fallout Shelter was not developed for Xbox One; it was developed for Windows 10 mobile.
Yep.
But hey, UWP just lets it play on Xbox One. So,
exactly.
it just makes sense to keep relationships with developers. You're not making a relationship with the hardware manufacturer. If you're congratulating Guerrilla Games on putting out Horizon Zero Dawn, that's a congratulations to Guerrilla Games. If you're congratulating Nintendo's first-party studios, you're congratulating the studio. You're not saying like, "Hey, congratulations, Switch, you made Zelda." No, it's not the Switch that made Zelda. It's the Nintendo first-party developers that made it. And they're the ones that are really getting the congratulations.
Right, and like a couple saying, I'm sure like Microsoft and the guys are like, "Hey, congratulations, thank you for that check. Oh, look at all these ones, it's fantastic."
Well, isn't
And
it
you know what, guys? Sorry, go ahead, SheWulf.
I was just gonna say, isn't it kind of one of those things where, to look like the better person, you praise those, even the ones you don't like. Like, no matter what, when, Yeah,
they're trying to show class and being respectful.
Exactly. No matter what, if you're in competition with somebody...
Let me ask you this, SheWulf. Do you think, like, these guys, like, really hate each other?
No, like, they're all
probably...
I'm sure that... Well, I don't know about really... Phil Spencer and Yoshida.
I'm sure there's like bad apples in like every camp, but whatever.
But I'm sure they walk past each other and they're like, "Do you see what those kids are saying about us again?" Like,
could you imagine? Like that would be hilarious. Like to be a fly on the wall.
I'm sure they're a company, guys. Like it's a corporate thing. Like they're not. I'm sure they've all been put into rooms together and they don't sit there like, "You're an asshole." No, you're an asshole. My console. No, like.
Well, I think a lot of social media backlash came from the fact that, like, you don't see Sony congratulating Microsoft when they put out a first-party game.
No,
so I think
but
that's
hold on.
Comes from.
When it comes to that, though, this is something like I sat there and thought about. No, we do not see Sony come out and congratulate. But it's not even just that. We don't see them say anything on Twitter, people. Like, it's literally, you don't see Yoshida come out and say anything on Twitter, where Phil Spencer is very, very vocal on Twitter. Aaron Greenberg
do Yoshida speak English?
Well, that could be the case too. But it's still, you do not see the Sony guys into the community just as much as as the Xbox community is. So does anyone want to take into consideration that maybe that's actually the possibility? Like, yes, I'm sure maybe, they got an email or something from their friends over on each side or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, congratulations." But just because they don't flaunt it in the social media doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and like, to Millennia's point, like in the chat, they're like, Sony and Nintendo's not showing any, respect to Xbox. And I totally get that standpoint. Maybe they're not showing it publicly. Maybe they're calling Phil on the phone and all that kind of stuff. Like, we don't know. I'm not going to say they don't. Maybe they just don't do it publicly because
they don't get paid off of Microsoft sales.
That could be too. They're salty about it, bro.
Right. Well, and I think that people on social media, they forget that making phone calls is the way that business was done prior to Facebook and Twitter and all that. Yeah. So yeah, that's a very good point. Like, who knows? Maybe this is just all happening behind closed doors. I mean, I would like to think so. I hope that everybody is respectful when it comes to that, but we don't know, and I think that's where the contention comes from.
Right.
If Phil Spencer wasn't so vocal, or Aaron Greenberg, or Larry Erb, if none of them were so vocal,
this wouldn't even be talking about right now.
Yeah, because it obviously they wouldn't be congratulating them either. So it kind of goes back and forth where. Just because they're not saying something, like they're literally not saying anything on Twitter, it's not surprising.
True.
You know what? At the end of the day, guys, the fact that Microsoft came out and does congratulate them on social media, it makes them look like, again, the classy act here.
Exactly.
Fans need to be calling out Sony and Nintendo, not calling out Microsoft. Call out Sony and Nintendo for not fucking stepping up to the plate here and
100% agree.
saying a few words. And remember, at the end of the day, too, it's all about competition. You know, love or hate each other, competition is good. And great games on all three platforms are what's driving this industry forward. Because if this was a one-platform industry right now, I'd hate to see how many shitty games we'd constantly get shoveled down our throats. And it would happen, because look what happened with EA as soon as 2K started dropping off some of their sports games. They basically slacked. You know, when NFL 2K no longer existed, Madden kind of went flat for a while. And it would happen with the consoles if there was only one kicking on the market. So I don't know. At the end of the day, Microsoft looks like the class act. The others look like an ass act.
They do. But it's kind of like Coke and Pepsi, though. I can't remember when it was. It was back in like I think it was like 1994 or something, when the whole thing happened between Coke and Pepsi, and there was that whole big, oh my God, they hate each other. They actually had a picture where both the owners of the companies were actually drinking beer at a bar together.
Yeah.
Like,
it's I don't think it's a big deal, honestly.
No.
That was some good talk about Xbox and all kinds of cool stuff.
You guys just gave me a great intro for fucking E3. Microsoft needs to do this. They need to hire Arnold Schwarzenegger to come out in his Terminator shit. When they fucking unveil Scorpio, that would be badass.
Yeah, like,
it's time to dominate the market here. We're going to do it.
Yeah, get on the Scorpio. Do it now.
Would you want him dressed as the Terminator?
That'd be awesome.
Oh, he'd have to be dressed as Terminator. Come out with a big fake, one of those big fake turret guns or whatever the hell he had. Just come out on the stage.
I do want like
Doom.
I do want like Microsoft to come out to E3 and just, you know, swing for the fences and just put everything out there and, you know, let us the gamers
save
decide.
it for that day. That would be amazing. But
I
overall, like, that whole situation doesn't bother me at all. Like, it doesn't stop me from playing my games, you know? It just makes like workers or employees look like they're all around great gamers because they play different things. I just think it's whatever.
Well, you know what I want to see them do for E3? On that Sunday when they do their press conference, I want them to show everything about the Scorpio games and do their press conference, but don't announce the price. But when everybody asks them, don't say nothing about the price and let all the hype build up. And then that Monday, right before Sony come on, put a commercial out announcing the price of the Scorpio, like right before they conference.
Oh, wow. Those tactics right there, bro.
Well, it depends. If the price is actually much higher, then that could look really bad on them. They would have to have like a pretty good price for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about it. Once Sony press conference come on, everybody in the media, they're going to be scrambling to put out Microsoft saying the Scorpio. That's going to kill the Sony whole E3. I mean, they need to do it to them one time. Sony did it to them too many times for them not to get them back. Who haven't teabagged nobody on Kid High?
I don't know if Phil's not into those tactics. You know, Microsoft's just, you know, not into that kind of stuff nowadays. But I don't know. We'll see. I think that's an awesome idea, man. Honestly, I think that's really cool. Let's go ahead and shift some gears and switch it up a little bit.
It's a goddamn snap, people. It ain't a freaking switch. That still aggravates me. Like, they're sitting here snapping.
Snap.
That's a snap. That ain't a freaking switch.
That's fine. I want to.
Another console manufacturer already had Snap trademarked, I think.
Did it? Oh, that's interesting.
Well, Snap on
Nintendo
Xbox.
Click.
Oh yeah, Snap. I gotcha.
Click.
Let's get into. Let's touch on this a little bit, like the Switch impressions. Like, I know some of us got the Switch, and some of us played it, and all that kind of stuff. What are you guys' overall thoughts, like, of the Switch itself? I know Newf's got it. What are you thinking, bro?
Well, let me just start off with the console itself. The build quality really impressed me. I mean, you can't really, it doesn't do it justice by watching it on videos, but I was really impressed with how sturdy a unit felt, how actually small it was. It looks much bigger, I find, when you see it on TV and things. And
yeah, I agree.
I was actually really impressed with how small it was, the build quality, the way the controllers snapped onto the sides. It works like advertised. I mean, it's so quick. You just put it into the little, the docking station and boom, it's up on your TV within a matter of seconds. You take it out, move back to your couch, and it's boom, right instantaneously up on the screen. The graphics look really good, not only on the big screen with say a game like Zelda, but they also look pretty damn good. Even in 720 on the small screen, you don't notice too much anyway because the screen is relatively small. I don't know, it's 7-8 inches, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So it converts really well either which way. I got to say, overall, I'm very, very impressed with what I've seen at this point in time. The Joy-Cons, I have yet to really kind of give them a full test through because I don't have some of the other games that use the motion sensing stuff too much and all of that. But so far, so good. I'd say well done, Nintendo. You did a pretty good thing here, and I think the Switch will be a huge success for them.
Yeah, man. Like, as far as the Joy-Cons go, like I played the first day with just the Joy-Cons, like hooking it up to the little dock thing, and messing around with that. I thought it was, a little small and all that kind of stuff. It was adequate. It did what it needed to. But when I got the Pro controller, that's where it's at for the Switch. Like, if you don't have one of those, I would definitely pick it up because I think Zelda plays so much better with that. I do have issues with Zelda, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but. I think the Switch overall, like what Newf is saying, I think the build quality is fantastic. When we opened it and unboxed it on the channel, I was like, wow, this thing's really small. And when you see it in videos and pictures and stuff, it looks much larger than it does when you actually have it in hands.
Yeah, like you can compare my phone
yeah,
to it.
It's literally just a little bit bigger than like a...
It's a tablet. It's like a 7-inch screen tablet.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 5. I think it's a 5-inch tablet or something.
I thought
or
like
6.
I would
It's
use it...
because I think the Amazon Fire is actually bigger than that.
Yeah, I thought I would use it more like mobile and taking it everywhere. I literally like went over to my parents' house and took the kids and stuff over there. And I brought my Switch, just to watch the kids outside and just play. I literally didn't touch it. I guess I'm just like more into like hooking it up to the TV. That's pretty much where it is all the time. Playing it on there. It works fine.
It's what the Wii U should have been. However, they should have released more games with it. Yeah. Because really, when it comes down to it, you can play Zelda, but once you either stop playing Zelda, you beat it, or say possibly get bored of it, that's it. There's not really, like, yes, there's the 1-2 switch, but that's kind of one of those ones you want to play with friends more than just sit and relax and play by yourself. I think there's like Shovel Knight. But again, it's not a very popular game. I'm sure there is obviously the people who like playing that style of game, but it's still not one of those huge popular games. So you literally have nothing else to play until the next game releases. I think it's like the end of April. The Mario Kart 8
Arms
releases.
Is coming out. Arms
Yeah.
is coming out like before that, I think.
No, I believe that's the end.
Is it April?
all the I have the list. All the next games release between April and May.
No, I agree with you
So-
on the simple fact of, like, if you're getting the Switch or you're hardcore and you got a day one, cool. Like, if you're on the fence about it, I would definitely wait till the holiday to pick it up so you have more games to play and all that kind of stuff right now. I think the Zelda's like the big draw. I want to play Zelda day one.
I
That's
also
what I wanna play.
personally don't think it's like, it wasn't a first time buy. Like personally, if I could do it again, I probably would have said, wait for a sale, wait for it to drop if it drops, because Nintendo does tend to not like to drop their items very low. But because I'm still a little disappointed that they didn't at least bundle it with a game for the $300 price tag. It should have at least come with one game where you actually had a little bit of option if you bought Zelda, because you literally all their other games are pretty much full price. There are some that are 20, but
1-2 Switch should have been bundled in with that.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
like the Xbox One S is cheaper and you get AAA titles with it.
Did anybody else on the panel get to mess around with the Switch at all? Besides me?
Yep.
Oh, what do you
And
think?
just for the record, I did not lick the cartridge.
I did, and it totally tastes awful.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, GKB
Like, it
liked
tastes like earwax, and then SheWulf was like, what?
When
You
did
know
you
what
eat
earwax tastes like? And then he changed it to a car battery or something.
Hey,
I
man.
don't know.
I wasn't always, the governor. I was a kid at one point.
Well,
Go ahead.
you made a good decision.
What did you
So
think?
I
Fox?
tried it. I tried it at my friend's house. She picked it up. Even though she already had a Wii U, she just really wanted a new Nintendo system. So she was really looking forward to it. And obviously the only game she has is Zelda. So I was messing around with it. The tablet is really good quality. Like, it's heavy. I like that. And when you put the Joy-Cons on the side, it feels really comfortable. Take the Joy-Cons off, and you put them on that control thing, and you dock the tablet. No, dude. No, I'm sorry. That control is garbage. I was playing with it and I was talking to her about it at the same time, and even she was like, "Yeah, it's not that great. I want a Pro Control, but I can't find one." And I was like, "Yeah, this is really I don't like it. It's not comfortable to me, and it's light. It's very lightweight."
It's very light. Yeah, I agree.
And I don't like that. I'm like, I even told her, going from an Elite control to your house to grab this control, I feel like I'm messing with the papers or something. It's really light, so I don't like that. But the tablet looks really good, like graphically and the lighting and stuff. I put it on all the way brightness and stuff. And then when we docked in, we had it on the TV. It looked really nice as well. But there's one thing I don't like, and it's the UI. It is so boring and
that's what I liked about it.
and basic. Well, I know you like you know.
I like that whole like
simple.
modern style, like simple kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I
just
don't
weird.
like that. I like how the Xbox looks busy. I like that there's stuff
That's fair.
everywhere. You know. And on their UI, everything's like plain and boring. And obviously their store is still empty. They only got like a handful of games in there too. So I didn't like the way that was. You can't even like customize your background or anything. You could only have like white or black.
And I
So
hate
like little
that.
things
I
like
turned
that
the white off. I
bothered
was
me.
like, oh, that's so boring.
Yeah.
And-
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
And the fact that you guys still have to have like, well, not you guys, but like we still have to have like a code, like with numbers and stuff.
Oh,
Like
for,
they don't
like,
have gamer
friends?
tag. Yeah, like what the hell is that about? Oh man, I got so
Somebody
disappointed
sent me
when I
that
saw
on the
numbers.
on
I was
Twitter
like,
DMs.
no.
I was like, what is that? And they're like, oh, it's a friend request. I was like, oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
don't
I thought it was a
like
game
that
code or
either.
something.
I have a
That is
question for you guys.
ridiculous.
Do you think that, to me, I can't help but feel that, to me, the release of Nintendo Switch right now feels like it was quite rushed based on the things that we know, how bland the story is, the games at launch. Do you think that Microsoft possibly announcing the Scorpio played a big factor into maybe why Nintendo wanted to get this thing out a little bit early
No,
so that
'cause
the thunder would be stolen, so to speak?
I'm gonna cut you off right now. It was actually supposed to release last year. It was actually announced.
Well, it was leaked.
Yeah,
It was leaked around the same time as the Neo at
I
the
don't-
time.
Yeah, like the
see,
Scorpio wasn't.
I don't
announced
think
yet.
Nintendo really does like anything they do based on like what Sony or Microsoft does. Like I
Yeah.
literally think like Nintendo
They
beats at
watched
their own
the beat of
their own
yep.
drum and don't give two fucks about anything or anyone
Yeah.
but what they do.
But
Period.
it is a little odd that there's no Mario game at launch that we have to wait until the
No.
fall to get the next Mario entry. That to me
Yeah, I
That's
totally agree on that.
disappointing.
seems out of the
Out of
ordinary
character.
for a Nintendo
Yeah,
platform launch.
Well, geez,
Yeah.
not even just Mario. There's hardly any third-party
but-
games out there right now.
I think that is because this new one that they're creating is something that it hasn't been done in the Mario world. They're literally stepping out of the
Well,
box for this
there's some,
game.
like, 3D Mario ones.
Yeah, but Odyssey though, like that is
I mean, yeah, it's a different departure, but I mean they've done like
they're
3D.
putting realistic worlds into it. Like that is something like really that is something different. They are taking a risk with this Mario game, and I think that's why they're not rushing this game to be released with this like when it was with the Switch. Now Mario Kart 8 should have been a release. Like that should have been.
Yeah,
a
because that's
launch
just
Because
title.
it's already
a
out.
remaster,
That
yeah.
probably should have
They're just
actually
putting
been the game
add-ons.
that was bundled with that, because I bet
Yep.
you that would have actually sold a lot more
That's a
if
good
they
point.
would have had Mario Kart 8 with it.
That's a good point.
Because let's be honest, a lot of people buy that game.
Yeah.
Heck, our
Yeah,
son,
not only
our
that,
son
it
would
has
have forced
extra
us to buy
content.
that game.
My one thing, like about the Switch, and and I'm not like giving them a pass or anything like that, but to be fair, like the Xbox One console that we have now isn't what we had at launch, and with this Switch launch, I think things are going to change. They're going to update stuff, and it's going to be better as it progresses throughout the years. Just much like the the Xbox and stuff. So
Let's just hope it doesn't update too much because there's not a whole lot
Not
of
a whole lot of
memory
space on there.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I mean, you can't even like get your game saves and put them somewhere else.
Yeah, that to me was really shocking when I heard
Somebody
that.
said like there was a comment that somebody actually said like it wasn't hard to do or something, or it can be done quite easily. I don't know.
yeah, I did see some like
Somebody-
of like people
there's-
teaching you how
yeah.
to do it.
People
There is a
said
way.
there is
I
a
don't
way
know,
to do
but
it.
it shouldn't be
if you,
that
like,
difficult.
Mirror your
But-
operating system onto your computer and then re-download that to a new Switch console.
Yeah,
Sure,
it
that's super easy.
it
It's so much
shouldn't
easier
be
than
that
putting it on a memory
complicated.
card and swapping
No.
the memory.
They should have cloud storage, and that's it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be
Well,
that convoluted.
I think that's asking a bit much since you got to get a phone app to do voice chat. So cloud storage, I think, is still a little out of reach for Nintendo.
What if like part of Phil Spencer's like travel to Japan there is maybe helping out Nintendo with some of their infrastructure stuff, or saying, hey, we have Azure and all this kind of stuff. We know we can help you out. I don't know if that's true. I'm just throwing that out there, but that'd be kind
I
of cool.
think that one might be a little bit of a.
Might be a stretch. You think?
Yeah.
Might be
Yeah,
a stretch.
yeah.
Building those
Is
corporate
this the
bridges,
first Is this the first console that Nintendo's actually released outside of the holiday season? Because I don't recall them ever releasing something this early.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't remember it either.
Yeah, probably because it got pushed back. And
I think they have with their handhelds, which would make sense.
Yeah, that makes
the
sense.
Mario game, the reason why I would think they didn't release the Mario game at launch, because think about it, you can't
At
release
launch?
Mario and Zelda at the same time. And that's like the Xbox dropping Gears of War and Halo on a launch.
That's fair. I can give you that.
But I mean, why not?
That's they too big.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Why
if
not,
Nintendo, they beat
though?
at their own drum. They could
But
do it, but
the fact that because
I think it goes back
Mario
to like
8,
it
though,
was rushed.
But Mario 8 was already, like you guys said, it's already a released title. So they still could have released it with Zelda, and
Yeah.
Zelda
speaking
is
of Zelda.
strong enough to actually hold its own base. It wouldn't have
Zelda
been,
is
like,
certainly a system
Yeah,
seller.
both titles would have sold well no matter what.
So
But
speaking
New-
of Zelda, since we're on that topic,
Oh yeah.
sorry, Mike. What did you want to say, man? Go ahead.
Oh, I was
I
just
don't
gonna say, I looked up the release dates for Nintendo hardware for their consoles, and the Wii U, the Wii, and the GameCube all came out in November. So he does have a point there. This is the first console release that was not a holiday season release.
Nice, cool.
Well, that could be because they don't want to compete against the Scorpio when it releases in November, though.
Yeah, that'd be a difficult
That
thing.
could be the possibility.
Although they
for
would
that
have a
one.
better lineup for the Switch at that point.
They
Yeah.
would have.
But that's it, though. But you got a parent walking in the door, especially the unsuspecting consumer walking in, and they've got $300 or $400 to spend on a console, and all of a sudden you got this gigantic Microsoft hype machine rolling out. Like, both consoles would sell well,
Shoot, if
but
I was
it
a
would
parent, I'd be
definitely
getting an
cut in.
Xbox
It
One
would
S.
definitely cut into the sales for sure. You know what I mean?
I'd be picking me up an Xbox One S. I think it's gonna be like $250, or it's $250 now. Like,
Well, it
Yeah.
Two of
during
those
Black
right now.
Friday. During Black Friday, it was only $211.
let's go ahead and talk about some
Well, right.
Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know some of us got to play it, and I'm just gonna say right now, I don't think it's a 10. I don't even think it's a 9.
Yeah.
I know that's probably going to
just-
hurt some feels out there, and I kind of said that on Twitter too. I think the scores were a bit inflated, and I want to say this too is I don't think Zelda's a bad game. I actually love Zelda, and I think it's a very fun game. I think it's just part of the hype machine or the nostalgia bug, whatever you want to say, where they just overrated the game.
It was too boring for me.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
was
you don't like
watching
Zelda,
it. No,
period.
I'm not a fan of Zelda, but
She's like boring. Done.
It was kind of no. It's not the game. Like it's not the fact that it's Zelda. Why it was boring to me. It was actually the fact that a lot of the times when GKB was running around, he wasn't doing anything but running around. Like that.
Yeah, you mean the
that to me is
gameplay.
boring. So
Yeah,
when
the
you're
world
not,
looked pretty empty from some of the streams that I've watched.
yeah, and it's so open. Like, okay, I keep
Yeah, I
saying
said
this,
that on-
and some people comment that I'm hating the graphics. No, when I say that the graphics are plain but they're gorgeous, there's nothing wrong with that. They're very simple and they're very simplest, but at the same time they're gorgeous to look at because I love paintings and I love all that
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
very
stuff.
stylistic. It's very
So
cool. I agree.
I
thought it
love
was
the
awesome.
graphics of this game. I could stare at the graphics for I don't know, forever. But the gameplay, no. Like just riding around on a horse and a horse
See-
that won't go into water.
I don't want to say I think the gameplay mechanics are perfect, they're sound and they're polished. The problem is the controls are absolutely utter trash.
Yep.
I have an issue
Yep.
with that.
I've heard that.
The jump button is all the way up, on the X,
They're
so far away you have to
opposite.
it's just like a weird thing. And then you go into the menu and you're like, oh, that's okay. Like I'll just change it to a different layout. No, you can't do that. You can't even change it, which is utterly disappointing.
And there's a beeping sound that you can't shut off.
Oh, that's just from the thing. I mean, that's
The alert,
part of the
though,
game.
that's
But
still annoying.
yeah, it is annoying after a while. It's like beep beep beep, but whatever. That's kind of like nitpicking a little bit. But the other part is the performance issues. Again, I don't understand these scores when literally I'll be walking and turning left to right, and then it just goes to a crawl. And, shout out to Digital Foundry. I don't really much like them, but they did show that it drops down to like 20 frames per second on some of these things, and it's just weird things that should be happening. And I think that goes back to, they built this game for the Wii U, and then just ported it over to the Switch and really just didn't give it the time that it needed to be built up for the Switch and take advantage of the console itself, because they just wanted a big game out for the launch of it.
Right.
And I think that kind of hurts it. So me personally, I think the scores are inflated. I think at its core, I think it's Zelda. It's fantastic. They have some great gameplay and
Love
stuff.
the
But there's things
puzzles.
that just hurt it.
Love the
Well,
puzzles though.
Yeah.
Let me give you my 2 cents worth here. I mean, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda this past week, and I would gladly play Horizon Zero Dawn any day of the week over the Zelda, if that makes any sense. I just found that game to be way more engaging and a very large, very beautiful looking game at that. Zelda, I agree with a lot of the things you're saying. The graphics were nice from the fact that they're stylized and they look good. I mean, it looks like a Zelda game,
Yeah, absolutely.
all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
But it's very sparse, and personally I'm not having any more fun playing this version of Zelda than I had with past games in the series. Like I enjoyed Twilight Princess just as much as perhaps I'm enjoying in this one. I don't really like the fact that they kind of went open world with this one. This is actually one of the drawbacks I'm having, because I find now the narrative is all over the place. You're just wandering around. You're fighting like enemies that kill you with one hit. It's just there's a lot of things that are off about this game, and I like it. It's definitely not a 10. I don't know how it got a 10. It's just too big. I like Zelda games that are very focused, so you know what you're doing. You kind of know where you're going. It just seems like everybody wants to do an open world thing, and I don't think it's necessary with a Zelda title. And it's one of the things that, like, I might not even finish this game, to be honest with you, because it just feels like I'm going on forever. I'm walking around and riding a horse and fighting pig people.
They don't open enough, like they didn't add enough content to have it such an open world that it is. And I think that was probably what they were lacking, because you spend more time going from point A to point B with literally just really riding without actually touching anything. Like GKB was running through this one spot of this open field, and there was literally nothing, but then
for like 10 minutes.
three rocks jumped up, he killed them, and then that was it for like another 10 to 15 minutes of riding to his next point that he was trying to get to. There was literally nothing. And when you have open world, and you made a great point with comparing it to Horizon Zero Dawn, because when you compare it to that, you were literally walking through the grass and you had to pretty much watch your back at every point in turn, because you didn't know if something was going to jump out at you, because there was so much that was in that world that you had to watch what you were doing. And I think that was the one thing that Zelda should have incorporated. They should have added.
Yeah. I think Zelda, the IP, lends itself very well to be an open world game. I just think, whether they rushed it or whatever they did, or they were just like at the whole grandiose, let's just make this big, huge open world. And that's fine too. Like I'm totally cool with that. But at the same time, you just got to make this world living. Like you'll go down like these trails and you're going to these towns and stuff, and literally would only see like one NPC that you would talk to. And then it was just like a random conversation that most of the time I was just kind of skipping through, because like even when you go to like the shops and all that kind of stuff and you're talking, it's the same repetitive thing over and over and over. And then when you go back to them the second time, they literally like reintroduce themselves like it was the first time seeing you again, which got just so annoying, because I'm just like, I just want to buy stuff from you. I just don't want to hear your spiel anymore. Like, knock it off.
And the voice acting, they should have added voice acting, because when you go up to them, you literally just hear like, and then you just see writing. It's like,
but on the cutscenes, they do have voice acting. Like, it was weird.
And whoever came up with the inventory system of having fucking destroyable weapons constantly needs a slap in the face. That is annoying as shit.
Oh, it's a constant resource management.
Yes, not to mention the fact that you have a stamina meter for everything. So if you're even swimming across a river and you tend to get tired and you just stop and waddle on the water, you don't even get your stamina back up. You basically just drown.
If you're just treading water, like, no, it just
you just down. Like, man, you're like,
I agree. That
was some cardio lessons there, Link. You can't even swim across a small stream.
I did like the stamina meter a little bit more than you. Like, I thought it was cool and it added tension as you were climbing stuff. You're like, oh crap, am I gonna make it? I
And
kind
that
of
makes
like
sense climbing up a cliff, but
Right.
like just like I said, if you're in a stream and you just stop to get your stamina, it should go back up. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. Like even when you stop climbing for a second and you're just like hanging out, you're just like, gathering your thoughts. Like it doesn't. It just keeps like draining you down. Yeah, I totally get that. I totally
You got to
understand
think about everything you do in that game. Like,
that. Yeah,
am
it's
I
a
going to make
resource
it?
management game for sure.
Should I even eat this apple? Because it might drain my stamina.
Well, do you think that the destructible weapons and the stamina and all that, do you think that's sort of a reaction to the popularity of games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, where inventory management,
Yeah.
weapon degradation, and stamina management, those are all very key and vital aspects of that game?
Yeah, I think maybe they were trying to like get a little piece of that pie at some point, but I just don't think it was really needed for this game.
It doesn't
No,
fit.
I don't think
it
Legend of
feels
Zelda
odd.
needs those types of mechanics.
Yeah,
It stands out.
And then when you find like
In
a
my
really
opinion.
good sword, yeah, I totally agree, Fox. Like when you find like a really good sword, at some point that's gonna break on you if you don't go repair and all this other kind of stuff. So that kind of sucks. Like if you're in a heat of battle and you have this really cool sword, and then it breaks on you, and I'd be like fucking pissed. Like I just spent like forever finding this like one chest to get this sword, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking a little bit, but
No, it's
No, I've heard a lot of people say that they get this awesome sword that they think is going to be great. They use it once and it breaks.
Well, Fox has a good story about a friend and her shield.
Oh my
Shield.
god, it burned. It burned by itself. She was just walking with a torch, and like all the grass started burning around her, and her shield went with it. So she lost the
wood.
coolest shield she had, and that really, really sucks. When you accidentally throw your weapon and you can't get it back because it's away in out of the cliff, or when you burn your own shield, that stuff is pretty bad, and it does stand out. It does make you feel like you're playing Zelda. Like those things, they different. And some people don't like that stuff, and I guess they keep going with it because it is Zelda, so they accept it, But
Right.
you could totally see a difference in the rating when it came to, like, on Metacritic, you have the scores,
the
reviewers,
user
and then
rating.
you have the user, and it's completely different because of
Well,
that.
Fox, you made a great point there. You said it's Zelda and people just go with it because it's Zelda. And I think that has a lot to do with the scores that we're seeing the game
Yeah.
receive.
Mhm.
Huge shout out to a very missed community member in Mooch. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. And The Legend of Zelda, I think it's a great game from what I've seen. I haven't played it yet myself. But I think the reason we're seeing these 9s and 10s across the board is because of the pedigree that is The Legend of Zelda. Like, everybody knows The Legend of Zelda is a great gaming franchise. They're judging it based off of its history rather than its actual merits.
Right.
yep, I agree.
I think it just takes so long to get most of these Zelda games that people just get overexcited, and
I agree, absolutely.
It's just like
it's like
Okay.
stroking it after a long time, man. You just get up for it.
I saw like some reviews, and I want to say this before, like when Newf was talking about it and talking about old Zelda games. Like I saw some reviews saying like I think it's better than Ocarina of Time, and I'm looking at them like Ocarina of Time is like my favorite Zelda of all time, and I'm
Nothing
like,
is better than
there's
Ocarina
no
of Time.
way
Sorry.
this is better than Ocarina of Time. No way. I just wanted to say that, but I know I'm gonna get a whole bunch of hate, and I already got it on Twitter about like.
I feel
Zelda.
like it should have played
and
a
I
little
was a huge fan of Wind Waker.
Oh,
I don't know.
Wind
I
Waker's
just
great
love
too.
Wind Waker.
No, Wind Waker was a really good game. I enjoyed that, but still not better than Ocarina of Time.
No, I'm not saying that either, but I really enjoyed Wind Waker. That was
Waker's
I
don't know,
enjoyed
one
Wind
really
Waker a
stood out.
lot. That was a great game.
Except for too much boat scenes, but outside of that,
Yeah, you gotta travel everywhere. That's pretty cool.
I wish it played more like Tomb Raider, where they had certain sections that were open world, but most of the story is linear.
it semi-
I wish
linear,
it kind of
yeah.
played like that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
This
agree.
game would have made more sense with that, but I am still going to go back to. I love the puzzles though. They are really.
Oh, the shrines are absolutely fantastic. Like I think that's one of the shining points of it. Absolutely.
They're fun and they're just like enjoyable to look at. The designs that they put into it, and you actually have to.
Yeah,
think
every
and do
one of them's like
something.
this mini puzzle game where you had to use like all your
Yeah.
rune powers and all that kind of stuff, and those are absolutely fun. Like I had a blast like doing those. I would just constantly just look for those and do those, and then upgrade my hearts and stamina meter and all that kind of stuff. So I had a good time. Like I know I sounded kind of like a little bit hating on Zelda and stuff like that, but I think at its core, I think it's a really good game. I just don't think it's a 10 in my opinion. I'm more
Yeah.
like an 8 or so, but I think overall it's still a good game.
An
Just got
8
some
or
issues.
so.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. So it's 20 minutes. The show's over. Let's go ahead and get into some Foxy deals. You ready, Foxy?
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play your intro. I just clicked everything. Go ahead, take it away, Foxy. What's our deals for this week?
Hey everyone, listen up. I got some awesome deals for you guys. So, over on the Xbox side, Games with Gold, we have Witcher 3 for $25. And from what I'm hearing, it's amazing. And this, you get everything. So, that's pretty cool. And we also have Dead Rising 4. There's two of them, by the way. So, one of them is 39 and the other one is 52. So, check it out if you missed out on that when it came out on Christmas. We also have Prototype. Biohazard bundle, that one is $20, and I believe that's both of the games together. And we also have Rise of the Tomb Raider, which with all this Horizon and Zelda talk, it just makes me feel like playing Rise of the Tomb Raider all over again. And that one is $20 as well.
Good price.
And I think this is amazing. If you guys want the season pass, it's only $7.50. It's $30 and now it's $7.50.
Wow.
So pick that up.
Pick it up.
I wasted
amazing.
$22.50. So.
Oh no, bro! You should have waited for Foxy deals. What's wrong with you?
No, I bought the season pass for that game the day it launched. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I did
Well, it's understandable. It's okay. It's worth it. It's worth it.
It has a great season pass though.
Yeah, they have Baba Yaga challenges and everything in there.
GKB going to the range.
What the?
That's hilarious. I'm MLG status, bro.
They're
Oh, he's MLG
Astros.
all day. Okay, so over on the PlayStation side and their discounts with PlayStation Plus, I didn't write all these down because all the Call of Duties are on sale. You got Ghost, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Remaster, all of them. Black Ops 3 or whatever that is. So go over to the PlayStation side if you want to play some Call of Poopies because all of them are on sale. They also have Unravel for $5. On sale on Xbox for $5 as well. And they got Plant vs. Zombies for $10, and it's on sale on Xbox for $8. And then obviously they have the free PlayStation games that just came out today for PlayStation 4 and the Vita and the PS3. All right, online deals, we have digital code. I'm gonna throw some digital codes at you guys because you guys love going digital apparently.
Heck
and
yeah.
physical sucks, which hurts my soul, but it's okay. I forgive you.
I did do physical on HCD though.
Why? We know why.
I know why.
I know. What.
So yeah, Timefall 2, like I was saying, digital code on Amazon for $24 or on Xbox One for $24. Mirror's Edge. What? What was that?
I don't know. I have no idea what that
She's
was.
supposed
She
to
will-
buy that game.
It's like I mentioned this game like how many times now? 10 times, and I still haven't bought
keep
it.
telling you. Anyways, go on.
Yes, okay. Mirror's Edge Catalyst for the Xbox One. $8 digitally on Amazon and on Xbox as well. So go ahead and pick that up. Over at Target, buy two, get one free on
Oh, I saw
all
that.
the games.
That's awesome.
Except for the Switch. Sorry.
Oh,
No.
fail. Not shopping at
For
Target
you.
anymore.
How
Well, you could buy
dare
like
you, I
all
love
the
Target.
Switch games for the price of two then if they were to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, and we have a Xbox One bundle, 500 gigabyte, with Ghost Recon on Amazon Music and Video, like subscriptions with them. So that's an exclusive bundle with Amazon, and that's $300. A similar deal for the PlayStation side over at Newegg. They have the PlayStation Slim with Uncharted and Ghost Recon as well. So if you want to pick that up, that's also $300. But that one is limited offer, like limited time offer. So probably for about a week, and then they'll take it out. So we have Mega Man Mega Man games. They're all different games. They're on sale on Xbox One and the 360. So if you want to play some Mega Man, you got the oldies and the new ones, and they're all on sale.
Nice.
And
amazing deal.
last but not least, Battlefield 1. If you played the free weekend and you really enjoyed it, you could pick it up for $30 digital code on Amazon and on Xbox One for $30. So yeah,
Sweet.
that's
Nice.
all the deals I found.
That's a lot
You
of
guys
deals.
have anything you want to add?
I was gonna add
Well,
the Target
that's-
thing, but you got that.
Yeah, I got it, bro. I got it.
Well, I don't know. This is kind of a regular deal type of thing, I suppose. But I was walking through Walmart. They got the gray Xbox One S bundled in with Gears of War Ultimate, Gears of War 4, Halo Cheap Master Collection, and Halo 5 for $3.79 Canadian.
Holy
Wow.
crap!
Wow, that's.
Wow.
I don't think they've had it that much. Like
That's in the box. I was
yeah.
like, damn.
Yeah, that's a good deal because I never seen that many games bundled with that particular box. That Xbox.
Well, that's why I was
gray
kind of
one.
blown away when I saw it. I was like, really? I was like, damn, that's a lot of games in
That would
one.
only be like
Man.
200 and something for us.
I was gonna say I need to
Yeah.
get a plane ticket up to Canada. That's a great deal.
Send
I
us
already
the
have
money.
all these
No,
games,
it's
but I'll
really
take
cool
them
though.
again.
That
Yeah.
is really cool. That's a really good deal. Absolutely.
But yeah, if you guys have any deals in the chat, let me know on Twitter, and I will be sharing all these things that I found later today. And I do have some extra ones that I didn't mention for time, for reasons and stuff. So back to you guys.
Cool. I just want to mention something real quick before we get into questions. Everybody get us your questions so we can talk about them. We got about like 10 more minutes with the show. But Outlast 2 finally has a release date, April 25th. So excited.
So excited
Oh, no!
for this.
We got to see
Y'all got y'all
SheWulFx.
Pampers.
Yeah. Totally going to shit my pants in that game. Absolutely. But yeah, this is definitely a SheWulFx streaming game here. Got to see that.
This game is going to be more
no.
scary than Resident Evil 7 because
Probably.
only because of the fact that it has more jump scares.
No.
than
In the
Resident
demo,
Evil
like,
7.
You fucking person gets like their balls just destroyed.
Oh
I was
my
like, oh my
God.
god, I feel that right now. Ah.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I am so
I'd rather
excited
finish
for
Resident
this.
Evil, so thank you. Let me finish that first, and then maybe Layers of Fear, and then we'll talk.
No, you can't go Layers of Fear to Outlast. Like, come on, if you're gonna do it, just
Okay,
go big.
Outlast 1. I'm not going to Outlast 2 until I'm ready. I'm not.
Come on.
Nice.
But did you guys hear it's gonna have a physical like release and
Yeah.
everything, like a copy?
Also, there's
I
not
was
going to
like,
be
whoa,
any VR
fancy.
support, which I was kind of like, I was like, wow, really? That seems like a game that would totally have
Yeah, you
VR.
would think they would
Even
jump
on
right on
PC?
that.
Yeah, none.
Wow.
At least at launch, they said no. Like, I'm sure
I mean, they
maybe
were trying
later.
to keep from getting sued because people might have heart attacks.
That's true, man.
I mean, I ain't make it through the demo. I made it to the cornfield, and my heart couldn't take it out. Like, man, too much.
Oh my god, I made,
That's awesome.
made it more than you. Oh yay, I'm proud.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hold up, no.
I
Cracking
finished the
there.
demo. That was really cool.
I got to get back on my demo now, just so I could be up there, because I can't have me being a weak link.
No,
Totally gotta
like,
do
that,
it.
Yeah,
that's,
against
that's a
me?
shame. That's a
Yeah.
shame bell that needs to be ringing right now. Cause
Here's a question, like, I think is on everybody's mind. I see this on social media all the time. Do you think the Scorpio name will be conservative or epic? Any guesses, guys? I'm hoping just Xbox,
Epic.
honestly. I mean, I know everybody else wants it.
Just keep it Scorpio.
It's
Just
going to be
leave
like
it with
Xbox
Scorpio.
One something.
Just leave it with Scorpio and
The Xbox One Scorpio?
Yeah, there's,
How about
there's
the
so much
Xbox One
merchandise
X?
already for it. So
The
why not
Xbox One
just
X.
Yeah.
take it?
Interesting.
No,
That'd be
get
nice.
rid of the one. That is just stupid. Get
Isn't
rid of
that
it.
gonna say
I
one?
agree with SheWulf. I think
And the X
No,
would stand
no.
for extreme.
Hold on.
Xbox.
They may not necessarily keep the one because Phil said he wants this to be unique. And,
But he said it's all part of the family.
but then he also said that, he wants it to stand out from the rest.
This is from
So-
Chaz Tunk Monkey. That's awesome.
Like a
name.
child without the same last name.
What?
No, I said like a child without the same last name got a different daddy.
Well, no.
You got Phil
No,
Spencer.
hold
That's
on.
Phil Spencer, baby. So he got to have a different last name.
Oh, maybe it's the Xbox Spencer.
Ooh,
Oh, that
there
would
you go.
be
That would
interesting.
cool.
But he's, but there's also the fact that maybe Phil wants it to be something that he wants to call. Like, look at when fathers, like, their first sons, they usually name it after them, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's always something
Junior.
special.
The Phil box.
Well, no. Okay, I love how you guys take that and just
Go
turn it, like,
Spencer.
completely, like, the
That's awesome.
weirdest thing ever.
Xbox One P.
I love it when they do that. It's awesome.
But I think it could. I could see the one get taken out of it. I think it's gonna be like freaking Xbox Prime or something because he constantly says the word freaking premium.
Yeah, no, I
Xbox
agree with you.
Premium.
I think they're gonna drop the one, and it's gonna be Xbox something, or maybe just Xbox.
Just Xbox, please. Just Xbox.
Or just say new Xbox.
New Xbox.
That way you can't get it confused.
Yep. It's the
Oh,
new
God.
one. It's the new.
That's a Nintendo thing. Get out of here.
Is it gonna have
Well, it's
like
just Xbox
new
One
Xbox
4K.
printed on the actual hardware itself?
You know, it could be something completely random though, because like the Switch was the NX. I wish they would have kept the NX. I prefer that name over the
Nintendo
Switch.
NX.
But they didn't. They went completely different. So I don't know.
Here's one that we didn't touch on when we were talking about Halo. Did you all hear? This is from Blackbird. Did you all hear that Brian Reed, the narrative director for Halo 5, has left 343? What are y'all thoughts?
He didn't leave. He was probably pushed out. I'm just being honest.
As long as Bonnie Ross is there, it'll be fine.
Hey, you think he walked out while they was playing the Halo music?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, like, you know, with the narrative of the last game and all that kind of stuff, people didn't like it. I'm sure it was kind of, you know, that kind of a thing. They're going to bring in some new blood and stuff, reinvigorate Halo again. I think it's going to be good. Like, I always want to see, like, new blood in games and see where they can take it and innovate and all that kind of stuff. So I'm cool with it. I don't think there's going to be an issue with Halo 6.
I got another question in chat from earlier on. This was from Raphael.
Yeah, sure.
His question was, if the gaming world were to do a draft like what we see in professional sports, regarding gaming franchises, what draft would you want Nintendo to pick? What would you want Sony to pick? And what would you want Xbox to pick as far as what franchise? If every franchise was a free agent, what would you want Nintendo to pick up? What would you want Sony to pick up? What do you want Xbox to pick up?
I want Xbox to just pick them all up. Is that I'm sorry. I like the achievements.
Xbox is the Yankees. Buy them all.
I like the achievements, and I like console features and stuff. So it has nothing to do with that. I prefer Xbox over all the other consoles. It's just I like the features. I like what I can do with the Xbox. So.
Yeah.
So you want Nintendo and Sony to go out of business and Xbox?
No.
everything is on
I'm not
Xbox?
saying that.
Not going out of business. Just make
I'm
IPs
not
for
saying
the
that.
Xbox
Honestly,
console.
I would just love. Obviously, it's never going to happen. But for all these companies to just like come together and make like the Beast Box and just
Everybody be kumbaya. What are you talking about?
Well, I said it's never going to happen, but I just want if Sony had the features that the Xbox had, I would probably play on Sony. Like it's.
You haven't touched the PlayStation since we've gotten it.
Well, no, I don't like.
You ain't gonna play
I
it.
don't like the UI. I hate that UI. It is the most boringest UI ever.
True, but if Kingdom
Boringest.
Hearts was exclusive,
Oh,
on
she
it,
just got
she
that
would
from
play it.
Game
I
Pass.
actually.
She just got that.
I got the 2.0, so I will be playing the PlayStation.
You
this
know, that's the
week.
thing I don't get. If we're getting 3, why can't we get 1.5 and 2.0, whatever it's called? Why can't we get that, even if they're remastered?
That
I don't
marketing.
get it.
Yeah.
It's-
It might,
See,
Yeah.
then that's one game she would like over on the Xbox right there.
yeah,
absolutely.
Kingdom Hearts.
I would like that myself, actually.
But
I
hey,
love Kingdom Hearts.
there is always the possibility they could come in the future, though, because look at a few of these other games.
You think they're timed?
Firewatch. We got that.
You're right.
Abusa. I know I'm battering that name, guys, but that swimming one, that one came.
Abzu?
Oh, the Abzu.
Oh,
Yeah.
Abzu.
Yes,
Yeah.
that one came. There was another one that just recently that was PlayStation, supposed to be PlayStation exclusive, that came to the Xbox. So just because these ones aren't there
eventually.
yet, there could be
Yeah.
that possibility, especially if they're bringing 3 to all the consoles. So
I wouldn't mind playing all of the God of War games on the Xbox if they were to remaster
Whoa, that's
the
so
first
weird.
3 and bring the next one onto Xbox. I would totally play that, because that was the only reason I bought a PS3 last generation was the day that God of War 3 came out. I went to the store and bought a PS3, and if I were to buy a PS4, it might be because of the next God of War game.
Right.
Good choice, Mike. Man, that was one of those games when that came out that was one that truly blew my mind. Like from start to finish, that game was like off the hook.
Although on the negative side, it did introduce the QuickTime events.
I'm gonna cut in for a minute here. When that's not the question, guys. The question was literally, what would you like to see these companies? And I said, I was.
He just what he just said
Star
God of
Fox on
War
the Xbox.
on
Yeah, God of War.
Xbox.
No, he said he would buy a PlayStation 4 just for that game.
No. I said
Reminiscing.
if I were to buy a PlayStation 4, it might be because of the next God of War, because that's the reason I bought the PlayStation 3 was only for God of War 3. So I would love to see Xbox.
I'm up in
How
the
dare
air
you,
with
Mike?
that.
Oh,
one.
okay.
the
See,
God
that's
of
what
War
I wanted to
franchise.
hear. That you want to hear Xbox claim.
You know,
God of
honestly,
War.
like, I'm up in the air on the God of War game, the new one. Like,
Oh, the new one I'm not decided on at all. I need to wait until that comes out to see what's going on.
yeah, I want to see like more of the gameplay because I really like the old God of Wars, and you know, I mean, you can say whatever about the camera angles and all that kind of stuff, but I thought
I
the
need
gameplay
angry
was really fun.
Kratos, not fatherly.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, bro. Well, I guess like if his son dies or like they take him captured, that would probably really piss him off. But
Dude, that's exactly what I think. Like, his son needs to die in that game. That's what needs to happen to make this a God of War game.
I am old man
That's my first thought
Kratos.
when I
I
saw that
went
preview
from
last year.
and then we're gonna see Ryan McCaffrey on Twitter being like, "Well, Xbox needs to kill more kids in video games."
I'm old man
shit.
Kratos. I went from battling Zeus and now I am battling arthritis.
Anthony says Pokemon on Xbox.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be a good one.
That's a good choice right there.
That is, yeah.
You know, I'm gonna buck the curve here. I think that Pokemon would do better on the PlayStation because they prefer the Japanese
That's
style
true.
games.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
could
that's
see.
good too, man.
That would be a good one for
That's a good point.
PlayStation.
I agree.
I want Mario on PlayStation and Xbox. Just bring Mario to everyone, please.
That's one of those games that would fit anywhere. Actually.
I know. I want it on all of them.
Here's a question from two. What is your most anticipated game? Must get game for the rest of the year.
Sea of
Mass
Thieves.
Effect.
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
Sea of
Mass
Thieves. Mine's
Ask me that
Sea
question
of
again
Thieves.
after E3, and I'll have
After
a different
E3, yeah,
answer.
yeah.
yeah, true.
Right now it's Mass Effect. After E3, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a tough
I
one.
don't know.
It-
I think Mass Effect still
That's
could
true.
shape up to be one of the best games of the year, though.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
if it goes as well as what it looks like so far, yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game to beat.
I have
As
no
long as it
question.
doesn't end like Mass Effect 3, then it will be a
Are
great
you
game.
reading craps?
Crap.
Mind you, I'm already sure we know what game of the year is according to the media, and it's going to be Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild because the
Yeah.
inflated scores. That game's already got it locked down. Don't worry, it'll be the freaking Nintendo Awards this year. It'll be stupid.
I don't know, man. I think Mass Effect will probably beat it out for game.
It's
of
a
the year.
multiplat, so it could. It could.
So
But
crap's
That's
asking
what's it called? Don't come out this year.
which
Rockstar.
oh, the Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, it's gonna give it a run for its money. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are forgetting about Red Dead Redemption 2 because that's still like in the fall, so it's out of people's minds right now. So
Yeah.
I,
Do you
I
guys think
think
it's
coming
actually
E3,
gonna
that's
release
gonna
this
be-
year?
I see
No.
a delay.
I think they're good for a
I
delay.
see a delay.
I
That's
don't know.
just me.
Does Rockstar delay games that often? I don't remember many delays from them in the past. I think
No.
they're
You
pretty
have
good
at
at
5
Assassin's
years per
Creed
title.
coming out. You have like another Call
I
of
don't
Duty.
think Assassin's Creed's gonna get Game of the Year or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I don't think
I don't
Rockstar
think they're
cares
getting.
about
I don't
any
say
other
they're.
publisher.
I don't say they're getting Game of the Year, but with all the games that are supposed to be releasing, I just don't see Red Dead coming
Red Dead
out.
could fucking release that game on top of like Call of Duty and fucking everything else, and it would still sell like fucking bananas.
I think every
Red
other
Dead
game gonna
come out
move
when the new
around.
Fallout comes
Exactly.
out, it's fine.
They're gonna come out and say Red Dead's gonna release on November, whatever. Every other game's gonna be like, yeah, November's gone. Let's just move it to something else.
Okay, well then maybe there won't be a delay.
I think there's gonna be a delay, but
I'm gonna stay with Sea of Thieves.
ooh, Sea of Thieves, nice.
That's what I
I'm looking
said.
forward.
Yeah, she's going with you.
Okay, I
You
agree
act
with
like
you.
It was like the first time it was said. Oh, that's a great choice. Like
Oh my God, she was just
Jelly.
so crazy right now.
No,
Crap
I
Gamer
agree
wants
with
to
my
know-
sis. That's it.
You know,
Crap
I'm
Gamer-
changing my answer to Sea of Thieves
Oh my
if
God.
that gets me into the Insider program because I would love to try that out.
Oh, that's hilarious. You can't
Oh,
change
that's
your
funny.
can't change your vote now. They already saw
Oh,
that
it's
you
too
picked
late.
Mass
All right.
Effect. Crap Gamer says, "What's GKB's favorite flavor of Haterade?" It's actually two flavors. I like the orange and the grape, bro. And I'm gonna drink a lot of it before Xbox
blueberry all
Nation.
the way.
Got to go with that cherry, man.
Ooh, cherry.
Whatever flavor Starburst is.
Every Starburst is every flavor.
Rob
I mean, that was an inside joke.
Cuthbertson says, "What happened to South Park?"
Delayed.
It was delayed for the fiscal year from now until what, March of next year?
It could possibly
Could be
come out
anytime.
between April of this year to March
I hope
of
it's-
next year.
I hope it's summertime.
They give themselves a pretty wide berth for that one.
Yeah,
You know
they
what?
do.
You know what, guys? I kind of hate that word delay. But then again, last year there was games that were delayed, and I still felt overwhelmed.
Well, that's because they
That's a good
delay
point.
into the holiday season where every other freaking game is coming out. So you're like, oh my god, there's too much.
Well,
to
there
play.
was there's still other games that didn't come out, and I mean, we're still waiting for it. But still, like, there was a lot. I'm just saying, even though I hate that word, it's still a lot of games out there.
I agree.
You know what I noticed? Nobody said Destiny 2 for their most anticipated game for this year.
Oh, that's because my
I gotta wait
brother's
and
not
see.
here. That's why.
They did come out though, and say, hey, your character's
only
going to
one.
move over, but all your powers and everything else is not moving over, guys.
Yeah.
Which I'm
Speaking of
fine
games,
with,
a bunch of new ones came out today. Did anybody pick up the new Ghost Recon
I did.
or Nier Automata?
I did not
Yes,
get Nier
we
Automata. I played the
did,
demo.
though.
I was like, I'm not feeling
No,
it.
we got Ghost Recon though, which we will be playing.
Right after the show, I'm going to
Yeah.
play.
That's
Hey,
so
ain't nobody
weird.
talk. Oh, go ahead.
It's- No, I was saying that's so weird. It came out today, and like last year today, we were getting Division.
Yep.
That's true.
Oh, a whole year.
Ghost
Isn't
Recon
that-
Wildlands, like the gunplay and everything, is straight up Division.
Yeah,
It's
no,
what
I'm
the
holding
Division
off
should have
on.
been.
I'm not getting Ghost Recon until at least a month after launch to see what the player base does.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
wait. I could wait and see.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ain't nobody say nothing about State of Decay. That's a game that's.
I'm definitely
That
gonna
might
State
be
of
a
Decay.
sleep.
Oh, that's
think
a
that's a
day
sleeper
one
hit.
buy for me.
Are we sure
Yeah,
it's
that's day
going
one
to
for me.
release this year though?
Yeah, they said.
Yeah, they
it's
said
coming
that.
out.
They did.
Yeah, they
okay.
said.
Yeah, the devs
They
themselves
just
came out and
haven't
was
give-
like, it's coming out.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what?
then-
I
Sleeper
take
hit
that
on
back.
you.
Date though.
It may not be a day one buy for me, but it will be a day one Scorpio buy for me. If that game comes out before the Scorpio launch, I may hold off on it.
Oh, I
if they
love State
announce
of
it's
Decay
going to be
1, man.
Scorpio
I
ready.
want to see what they do with it though.
State of Decay 1 was like fantastic. All they need to do is just add co-op to it and just make it look cooler.
But
Like,
we've
I'm
seen
done.
games that should make a sequel to add these things that we want and just completely butcher
Yeah.
it. So I want to
Yeah,
see what
we'll
this
see.
game is actually going to be before saying yes, this is
Oh.
one we have to have.
Didn't they
All I
already
have to
say
do is
they
watch The
feature
Walking
co-op in
Dead.
it?
Huh?
What?
Sorry, go ahead. Whoever.
Didn't they already announce that there was going to be co-op in State of Decay
No,
2?
there
I thought they
is,
already
there
said that.
is,
Yep.
but that doesn't mean that they don't screw up something else. Like
Oh, you haterade right now.
it's not.
Get out of here with your haterade.
She drinking that blue one.
Yeah, it's okay. Come on, we've seen it with Titanfall 2. I'm not getting my hopes up for another game.
And you want me to buy it? Oh, no, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Shut up.
I'm getting it.
All they gotta do is just watch The Walking Dead. And that's it.
Yeah, just make that.
They should.
make
I
that
want a
video.
Walking Dead open
State of Decay
world
1's
game.
fantastic. Like 2, I think is gonna be fantastic too.
We'll
But
see.
we are at that 2-hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, thank you so much to everybody watching. I don't think we went below like 80 people watching the show.
Thank you,
today. You guys are
guys.
fantastic, man. We love you guys like so much. You guys are awesome.
We want
Um,
to keep talking. Let's
I know,
do it.
like we gotta save it for the next show. Come on, we might have like a special edition or something this week. Who knows? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody shout out what they got going on. I'm gonna go ahead and start with our guest, Mr. Triple Cup Chuck. What you got going on, brother?
Cooling. Playing games, more games on Mondays. Excuse me. On Mondays, you can find me at the Gaming Session podcast. You know, we be cutting up on there. I mean, it's a little bit extreme. So if you can't take nothing extreme, that's not the podcast for you. But if you like extreme stuff, that's what that do.
Extreme.
But yeah, extreme. Yeah, I mean, it's almost extreme as that Logan movie.
Oh,
Nice.
that's a good movie.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Hey, I describe that movie in one word: brutal. Oh, shout out to my boy Brutal Knight,
Yeah,
LSU
man.
bro.
Yeah.
Oh, get
yeah,
out here
you
with that
know.
LSU stuff. Alabama.
Man.
guy.
Oh no, don't do it to me. Don't do it to me.
We
It's all
haven't
good, bro.
watched Logan yet, so don't ruin it.
Oh, I just ruined it. Brutal.
It's brutal.
Brutal.
Well, that ain't.
But
shocking
yeah,
it.
hey, in the morning time I be on the game. Anybody want to play games? I don't charge people to play games. I love to have fun with all my people. So get at me, you know what I'm saying? Triple Cup Chuck, Triple Cup, one word, and Chuck, you know what I'm saying? Just get at me on Twitter, on the Xbox, you heard me?
Awesome, bro. Don't forget to join the Gamers Knows Best Discord. We'd love to have you in there. We talk a lot of crap in there, so it's good times.
Oh, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Awesome, bro. What about you, Newf? What you got going on, dude?
Well, I'm going to go back to playing some Horizon Zero Dawn, maybe a little more Zelda, and a bunch of different things on the Xbox and all that good stuff. And guys, don't forget to check out the Doug podcast with Stick Figure. It looks like GKB
Yeah,
and
I'll be
myself may be joining him this week. That's on Sunday night. So go check that out. Should be a good time. If you can stay up late enough to watch it, because
I was
it's
gonna
Oh,
in
say, it's like
Australian
5 a.m. in the
time, mate.
morning.
But Yeah, that's about it, man. Again, subscribe to everyone down below, folks. Keep watching the Console Corner for all their great podcasts, video blogs, and everything else. And keep on gaming, people. And thanks for watching.
Oh, new pro tip, man. Wait for the credits on HZD when you finish it, bro. You'll be happy.
Huh?
Wait for the credits to end in HZD. You'll be happy. There's some little thing at the end.
Okay.
Magic Mike, what you got going on besides dancing on poles and getting dollar bills and all that kind of stuff?
Hey, I'm dancing, getting those dollar bills rained on me all day long. But you can always find my Twitter and YouTube channel down in the description below. And I will be here every Tuesday night. Between now and next Tuesday, I'm going to be gaming some more games and looking forward to what we have going on for some news releasing this week. I hear there might be some news coming out that we might want to hear about.
That's going to be fun. Can't wait. What about you, Fox? What you got going on?
Oh, nothing
Now
much.
that you're a year old on the
know.
show, it's awesome.
Oh, okay. Thanks. I'm done now. This was my last show, everyone. That was.
You know what I mean.
No, but yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, I'm a pro now. Watch
She was
out.
a pro.
Okay. But it was it's awesome always being here with you guys every Tuesday. I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way or be in any other podcast as a permanent member. You guys could watch Ladies Night was on last night, so if you missed that, go check it out after this. And obviously, I do YouTube videos, so if you want to subscribe and check me out. Obviously, I'm on Twitter all the time, talking smack and sharing Foxy Dios, so you should follow me on there as well. Lady Foxfire with underscores. And I'll be back here hanging out with you nerds next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, SheWulf? What you got going on?
Of course, I'm SheWulf. You can find me on Twitter and Xbox at xSHEWULFx with a U, not an O. Like Fox said, there's Ladies Night that was yesterday, and community game time. I don't know. I'll announce it tomorrow. Kind of slacking a little bit on that.
It will
I'm sorry,
happen this
guys.
weekend.
It will happen this Saturday. I promise. Other than that, we got some new videos coming, so make sure you guys are ready.
Lots of unboxings.
And watching for that. So
More unboxing. I'm gonna be jelly all over again.
I
What
can't
else
we
wait.
do you
got
have to
something nice
open?
coming
How can you have more
tomorrow.
unboxings? I don't understand.
Oh man, you'll see.
because
You'll see.
something nice is coming tomorrow.
You'll see. I can't wait for it actually.
Oh wait, that reminds me. I'm getting something from Gears of War. I want something from them,
Ooh,
and they're sending it
nice.
my way.
Oh,
So I will be unboxing that next week or something.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. I am a GKB, the governor, Xbox hater, everything hater. I drink the haterade all the
calm
time.
down. Find us on Xbox
Yep.
Nation tomorrow.
Yep, we're gonna be on Xbox Nation tomorrow. Drinking my haterade for that. It's gonna be a good time. Always a blast to be on there. Big shout out to Crap and the crew on that show. Be on Shop Podcast with Blam on Saturday. Community game time. Doing unboxing videos. Can't wait to show you all that cool stuff. I'm going to be streaming on Beam, probably Wildlands and some indie games this week. I'm actually really enjoying streaming on Beam. It's a good time. But you can find me on Gamers Knows Best on YouTube and Twitter. Please subscribe. Join our Discord, guys. It's a blast in there. Like, the chat was just
Yeah, it
popping
is.
off today. It was a good time. And hang out and talk trash and all that kind of stuff. So come hang out with us.
Definitely.
That's about it. That's everything that's going on. We love you guys. Thank you so much for rocking out with us today. The chat has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it has.
Lots of viewers today. We really appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I love that community right there.
Community
love
is
you guys.
fantastic. You guys support
Yeah.
the crap out of us.
Make sure you check out our Beam team as well. For anyone who
Big shout
wants
out
to
to
follow
Frodo.
us on our Beam team, there's me, GKB, we have Frodo, and hopefully soon Fox will be joining us once they release the
She just
Xbox
needs to get on that alpha
app.
program.
And
Nah, bruh. I'm gonna be there. Don't
she's not
worry.
gonna break her Xbox, but
She ain't gonna
I'll
break
be
it.
doing
Make sure
some
you
streaming
check
once I
out
get Beam
our-
on my Xbox.
Oh,
See,
well,
Mike's gonna do it
there we
too.
go. So we'll have to get Mike into the Beam team as well.
Hell
So
yeah.
make sure you guys come check us out. We
And I'll be on
do a lot
Beam.
of fun Beam
Newf too.
streams.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have everybody.
We're going to have everybody. Everybody's going to stream all at the same time. We're going to be good
Console
time.
Corner Beam team. Let's go.
Boom.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. We really appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for rocking out with us. We will see you next time. Have a great one.
Night,
Later.
guys.
Have a good night. Thanks for
Later,
watching.
later.